Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Park, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
As we come to you from Blackcat Field, 2019 homecoming, Mexia will be receiving the ball here from the Madisonville Mustangs. We'll be getting a program here in a minute to let you out there know who's making the plays for the Mustangs tonight, as we've pretty much got the Blackcats down. Calling the game with me here tonight will be Wallace High. Wallace, it's good to have you back, bud.
Oh, yeah. I always love showing up to Blackcat Field on a Friday night to watch some football.
Well, it's kind of special tonight because we're as I said, we're at homecoming 2019, and we also are honoring a 30-year state championship Blackcats, the only one we've brought home.
Right. You know, growing up here, you always hear about that 89 team, and it's really good to be able to honor them on the 30th anniversary of that state title. It's a windy night here at Blackcat Field as we get ready to tee it off. Madisonville will be kicking from left to right to the Blackcats.
Looks like we had Trey Jones and Lamar and Miller on the kickoff return, and it'll be Miller taking the kickoff. And he's been close to breaking a few this year. Let's see what he does. Going up to the right side, he breaks up the middle. He's across the 35 to the 40.
He's tripped up and runs into the back of one of his blockers
one of
at
his
the
own
35.
Guys. It broke wide open for him.
Yeah. You know, you seeing that, if he gets that again, hopefully he'll make an adjustment and he'll be able to break through that. But that was a good return, you know, nonetheless, to start off our first possession at the 35-yard line.
And the Blackcats will be moving the ball from right to left tonight. And the starting backfield will be Trey Jones,
Jaden Proctor.
The wide receivers are Holdman, Clark, and Harrison. As the Blackcats come in motion, hike back to Proctor, and he keeps it. He takes around the right side. Nobody's going to catch him. There will be nobody catch Proctor in the open field when he breaks. And on the first play of the game, Proctor puts the Blackcats up on homecoming 2019, 6-0.
He takes it 65 yards straight to the house up the right sideline on simply a quarterback keeper. He ran the read option. He pulled it, got around the end, and there was nobody that – I don't think he was touched the entire time.
No, sir. And that is a different variation of that play than we've watched all year long. Most of the time he's handed that ball off, and he hasn't kept and gone around the corner.
And on the extra point attempt, they line up in the swinging gate as they do all the time. They snap it back to Proctor, and he makes a great throw out to Lamarian Miller, who goes up over the defender and catches it for 2 points.
And as every game we've called this year, Wallace, I'm like, why do we keep doing that? And every time we get there, I'm not paying attention, look up, and you get a 2-point conversion there, and you're going up 8-0 to start with.
And I think we talk about it every week. You line up in it, hoping that you get that one chance every game to sneak in 2 points instead of 1. And I do like the fact that even though we line up in it, if they don't see that the numbers on defense favor the Blackcats, they shift to a traditional extra point alignment. That time they were able to take advantage of it, and they were able to get 2 points.
Yeah, so with 19 seconds into the ball game, the Blackcats lead homecoming 2019 8-0 over the Madisonville Mustangs as the Blackcats come out on the field. Be Martinez kicking off to the Mustangs. We have number 7 and 8 back to return the kick for the Mustangs. As man, was a lot of electricity in the air after that one play, Wallace.
Right, looking across the field, we get to stare at the home side bleachers, and you saw people up on their feet. You saw the sideline get a lot more energy in it, hopping around after that. Now we're going to get the kickoff from the Cats to the Mustangs.
And Mustangs have had really good defense so far this year, but the Blackcats have been very explosive. We got a shallow kick here to number 8 for the Mustangs as he breaks one up the middle, and there's a host of Blackcats to hit him about the 35-yard line.
Yep, so Madisonville will start their first possession from the 35, just as the Blackcats did, and we'll see the Mustang offense for the first time and the Blackcat defense for the first time.
Well, the games previous, last week we were not here due to weather implications down in the south, and as we pray for the rebuild of Houston and Beaumont and the Kingswood area down there, we weren't able to make it down there to play. So the Blackcats ought to be sure and fresh here to start this game.
Yeah, you're always ready to get out on the field, but being able to have an extra bye week and go into district.
Snap back to Mustangs as they take the ball around the corner.
Hand off
they
to number
string
7.
It out, and they're going to tackle him.
And that's big AK Medlock out there.
I was talking to some of the players the last couple of weeks. I'd run into them, HEB, and it's always a pleasant surprise to see our Blackcats working. And I got to talking to them about Big Eric, and they said, Jeremy, if he don't want to be blocked, he's not going to be blocked.
Yeah, he came into the season looking a little bit leaner and more in shape, and he's been playing like it so far this season.
Well, the Mustangs line up in twins down to the right, one in motion in the backfield with the up back. Snap back to the quarterback as he hands it off up the middle, and it's just another gang tackle by the Blackcats at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, you look up, and there's 3 or 4 guys, at the point of contact every time. And that's one thing we've noticed about the defense this year is that they have a lot of speed, and they fly to the ball, and they gang tackle.
Well, that was going to be a gain of 4. Now it's going to bring up 3rd and 5 at the Madisonville 40 as Madisonville's running kind of a wing T set here with 2 wide receivers to the bottom, snap back, and they're going to fake back and drop back, and Big Eric's after him. He's going to throw a deep ball.
It's knocked down by Frankie Smith.
As that Blackcat nearly had him an interception there. It was a heck of a play by Frankie Smith. It's going to be tough to throw in this wind. You're going to have to use it to your back if you're going to use it tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure our listeners can hear the wind, blowing through our microphones while we're talking. And it's a real strong wind. Looks like we're getting it in from looks like it may be blowing south to north.
Yeah.
And that's directly across our field, and it may affect some of those passes and kicks
Holden's
tonight.
back at his own 15 as he kicks up.
It's a high, short punt.
It's a short punt. They're hollering for everybody to get out of the way, and the ball rolls sideways at about the Blackcat 29.
Yeah.
And Mexia will be taking over on their own 29 for their second possession.
That's a good showing by the Blackcat D coming out the first possession and holding Madisonville to a quick 3 and out.
Well, the one thing the Blackcat offense has done in the first half this year, and especially in their first series of the game, is it's 1 or 2 plays and they're breaking long runs.
Right.
Whether it's a short pass or it's a quarterback sneak or it's a handoff to Wiley, we've scored quick in just about every ball game.
You have Proctor ready to receive the snap. Snaps back. Hand off to Jones up the middle, and he breaks through.
He's at the 45 of the Blackcats.
He's tripped up at about the 46-yard line of Mexia.
Well, we haven't seen Wiley out there yet tonight. I wonder if he's hurt.
I'm not gonna assume that he's hurt. I think, we've said it all season. You have a couple really good runners that go in the backfield, and maybe tonight's just Trey Jones' chance to get a few more touches.
Might have had him a real good week of practice, and they're gonna give him a bone when they practice good. Proctor drops back and he throws a short pass out here to looks like Trey Holdman.
Yeah, you get a 6-yard gain or 5-yard gain on first down and keep you ahead of the chains. So bring up a second and about 5.
Well, what's more important on that is the Blackcats complete a couple of passes
early
in the game to where the defense can't just say, oh, well, the Blackcats are going to come out and run it down our throat.
Right, and that's important to stay balanced. And, those quick passes can get your quarterback in rhythm. And when you're you have motion snap back
handed to Jones, and he's up the middle for a gain of about 4 yards.
Yeah. As I was saying before the play, you want to get your quarterback in rhythm. And when you have a quarterback that's as explosive as Jaden Proctor, the simple fact that he completes some passes and the defense has to start respecting that, it opens it up for him to make one of those exciting runs like we saw in the first possession.
As we were just talking, Wiley runs out on the field. The Blackcats are in new jerseys tonight, and they look really awesome. They got their new white helmets in and black jerseys with white pants.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see new combos, and the white looks really
Wiley
good.
breaks up the middle, and he gets about 4 yards for a first down. That'll be a Blackcat first down at the Mustang 42-yard line.
And you were talking about, Jeremy, just a second ago, how the Cats offense strikes fast. And just looking, this has kind of been a little sustained drive, but every play seems like there may be a finger grabbing a shoelace from breaking another long run.
As now we have Holdman and Wiley in the back with Holdman going in motion, and Proctor just does a straight quarterback juke, and he jukes out everybody. He's going down the right sideline. He's looking for one block, and he's just going to run out of bounds at the 31.
Enough yardage to pick up another Blackcat first down.
That was just pure athleticism there.
It looked like they had something setting up, but looks like maybe a safety or someone came off the edge, and it was more than we could block, and Proctor just made a play happen out of nothing, and that's what you get when you have someone like him with that athleticism and the ability to make big plays.
As you look out there, Madisonville just shaking their head. They don't know what to do. They reach for him, and he's gone. He's just a little jitterbug out there. But Proctor's back with Wiley in the backfield with him. Harrison's on the move, and their handoff to Wiley up the right side. He breaks through, and there is number 7's got a chance to get him at the 12-yard line.
And he broke through, and number 7, the safety, was the last man there, and he made a shoestring tackle to keep him from going into the end zone.
And once again, in the first quarter, Blackcats are coming out and just putting the ball on the ground and moving the ball down the field steadily, 3-4 yards, bump 110, bump 115. And we got Proctor in the backfield with Wiley once again, and we have Holdman in motion. Snap back to Proctor, hand off to Wiley to the left side, and he runs through, and he breaks one up the middle for a touchdown. Touchdown, Blackcats. And that makes it 14-0 homecoming 2019 from Blackcat Field, awaiting the swinging gate decision.
Blackcats line up in their swinging gate as they look to the sideline to see the play call.
Once again, they got one-on-one out there.
They break up into their traditional extra point formation as the kicker comes out onto the field.
As Martinez is going to be the one kicking here for the Blackcats. Holmes the holder.
Ball's down, kicks up, and the extra point is good.
And with 7 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first quarter, the Blackcats have put 15 points on the Mustangs in a short time here.
The on that drive, we didn't see the big, long break and run like we did the first possession, but like you said just a second ago, we saw the 7-8 yard run, the 3-4 yard run, and then the 15-yard run, and the Blackcats looked really, really good just pushing the ball down the field. And I think we see kind of the game plan for the Blackcats tonight was to come out and establish that run and be dominant up front and allow those three, I don't want to say workhorses right now, but those three electrifying athletes back there to just take over and do what they do best and make plays. So far we've seen Trey Jones, Jarrell Wiley, and Jaden Proctor get into the mix, and make big plays. And there's a few more athletes out there, and I'm sure we'll see them as the game progresses.
Yes. The one thing about the Blackcats that they're where they are a little different is they're so quick. You think they're going to be a team that plays in space, but yet they're a team that'll run right up the middle on you.
Right. We've said it all year. Wiley and Jones, they run hard, and we've seen it here in the first quarter so far. Another high kick, fielded it inside the 30, and then the Blackcats tackle them. Looks like the Mustangs will take over at their own 38-yard line.
Well, once again, that's the high kick that you see a lot of these schools going to and trying to get it high so their coverage team gets down quickly to cover the ball, because with all the speed that you have now on a football field, if you're kicking it deep, you're out kicking your coverage.
Right. You're kicking it high. When you have a quick team like that, you're trying to limit the chance for a return to be big. And with the new kicking rules of the ball being placed out at the 25 on kicks into the end zone, it's kind of beneficial.
The Mustangs hand off to their running back up the middle, and he breaks loose, and they're trying to rip the ball out, and he's tackled about the Blackcat 42-yard line.
Yeah, that's a big run. He caught a seam off of about his right tackle, and he was able to move the ball down the field a little bit. We'll see if the Blackcats adjust to that. And
well, they come out in a different offense that time. They actually come out in a spread with an up back, and they snap back and hand off to number 24 again, and he is just consumed by
Big AK Metlock. Like I said, you were almost assured they were going to make an adjustment to it, and they came back and tried to run that same play to the other side, and big Eric Metlock was not having it.
No, and that is a gain of 0 on that, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 as the Mustangs spread back out. They have 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top with an up back, and then they have the running back and quarterback snap back to the quarterback, and he's going to take it up the middle himself.
And Big Eric Metlock is there again to pull the quarterback down for maybe a gain of about 1.
Yeah, he looked like he had an opening, and the next thing you know, you see big arms come out there,
right,
and he wasn't going any further.
And once you saw Big 70 reach out and put those arms on the quarterback didn't do anything but go straight to the ground.
It looks like on defense what they're doing, Mejia's matching up Eric to the strong side of the Mustangs. Wherever the strong side is, Eric's going to that side. Just playing a little cat and mouse game out there. And now they're going to run a little.
Oh, and Big – They try to set up the screen, and big Eric Metlock breaks into the backfield, and he gets those big paws we were just talking about up and knocks the ball out of the air.
Well, Mustangs look like they're bringing their punt team on. I would think here, Wallace, at 4th and 9 where they're at.
Yeah, they're right on the Blackcat 40-yard line.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and punt, and that'll be
Mustang coaching staff know their players, and if you have a big leg, you may kick this into the end zone and only net about.
Oh, it's a bad kick, and it's back, and he's going to jump on it, and they're going to touch him down at the.
Dawson Scott gets back there to the punter and touches him down.
Mejia will start on the Mejia.
No, it'll be the Mustang.
Yes,
43-yard line.
43-yard line. Well, Mejia will have great field position to start out their 3rd drive of the game.
We were just talking about punting from that situation and the difference in field position and what could happen in the net yards, and the next thing we know, we see a ball that doesn't get off of the turf, and it just kind of rolls past the punter, and big Dawson Scott was moving back there, and the punter just fell on it, and Dawson was able to touch him down.
Yep.
And the Blackcats will start with great field position on this drive.
As Proctor brings the boys back out on the field.
It'll be Jarrell Wiley joining him in the backfield.
And once again we have trips to the right, one to the left with Harrison in motion, and he's just going to looks like it'll be a quarterback keeper around the right end. Proctor's just looking for an opening, and he gains about 2 yards on that.
That play was a quarterback run from the very beginning, and Madisonville recognized it, and they just kind of strung it out. But Proctor was able to lower his shoulders and get 2 yards out of that.
Last night, Freddie and I was watching the JV game, and we kept looking at each other because the JV would run that same play, but they'd run it to the short side of the field every time. And, I mean, they just didn't have as much room to work with. The Blackcats come back up with Harrison in motion. Snap back to Proctor. There's a handoff to Wiley. He goes up the middle. He breaks out to the right side. He's across the 30.
He makes another
25,
move. And
down
he fights down to the
19-yard line.
His helmet comes out, so
have to come out.
Barring a defensive penalty, he'll have to come off the field for at least one play.
And that'll put the Blackcats in good shape at 1st and 10 at
the 19-yard line.
The Mustang 19-yard line.
Trey Jones replaces Wiley as he runs on into the backfield. Have Jordan Hullum flanked out into the left wide receiver slot. You have twins up top right now with Evan Harrison and Christian Clark.
So they bring Clark to the inside and put Harrison on the outside.
Holman's lined up as an up back.
This is a totally new formation. He drops back. He's going to throw it to the right. And it's Harrison out there to catch the ball for a touchdown. Blackcats.
Evan Harrison. You know when they lined up, they switched the position of the receivers. I'm sure the coaches saw something that they could take advantage of and putting Evan Harrison, who's a bigger receiver, out to the outside. He was able to just run right past the defender.
Yes, that was
and catch the ball over his shoulder in the end zone.
Perfectly placed pass by Proctor,
Yeah,
right over number 8.
Proctor
Number 8's got a big height
over
advantage out there with our tall wide receivers on the outside.
Right. I'm not sure how tall number 8 is, but it was evident that they saw the mismatch and they lined up in it and they took advantage of it on that play.
So that's twice in the first quarter the Blackcats have taken advantage of the right corner, or it'd be the left cornerback for the Mustangs.
Kicks up and good for the extra
with a
point.
2-point conversion, and they're now a touchdown as the Blackcats now lead 22-0 with 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the first quarter of homecoming 2019. Football is being brought to you by Greer Media Time. We've got sponsors Napa, Joe Fridays, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, and Mookie's Barbecue. I was out at Mookie's today, and we had a barbecue sandwich. And man, if you have not eaten at Mookie's in Coolidge, you need to make the drive out there. His ribs are really good, but I had a brisket sandwich today, and oh my gosh, I've been out there about 6 times, and I hadn't had a meal yet that wasn't just outstanding.
Oh yeah, and we thank all of our sponsors for the contributions they make, not just to our broadcast, but those same sponsors are sponsoring our athletic department, which goes along with helping our football team. So we're especially thankful for them in deciding to sponsor the broadcast and the stream as well.
Well, the Blackcats will be lining up, and Martinez will be kicking from right to left to the Mustangs, as we still are about halfway through the first quarter. It's a high kick once again to number 8, and the Blackcats come down here. He's running up the middle, and he is tackled about the Mustang 45. Good return by number 8 for the Mustangs.
And that time that kick was a little bit deeper. He fielded it at the 20, and it looked like the Cats were going to be able to get there, but the returner was able to just find a little seam and stay away from those gunners, and he fit through the middle, and he got a really good return for the Mustangs as they'll start, pretty close to midfield this time.
And this will be their third drive of the game, as the first one they punted, and the second one was a bad snap on the punt. But we'll see what the Mexia Blackcat defense does here, is they have once again come out gang tackling.
We have number 5s in the backfield as the deep back.
We are in an inverted wishbone.
Yeah, we are.
They're restarting the clock here.
You talk about formations, and we've seen quite a few formations this year, but we haven't seen this one yet. You got 2 up backs, your quarterback number 3, and he's kind of in the pistol formation.
Yes.
And now he goes.
And they're going to hand off to him at the middle, but once
he's
again,
met
that
by a wall
defense,
of defenders.
And he's going to be a loss of a yard.
And again, right in the middle of it is big AK Metlock, Connor McNeil, Dawson Scott, and Dontavius Davis.
The ponies you would expect them to come out in a Pony Express wide open offense, and let's roll. And I would have to say, I do like the Mustangs on the side of their helmets. They look really sharp. Once again, we're in the inverted wishbone. Number 3 is the quarterback for the Mustangs. It's going to be a snap back to him, and he's just going to fake it out. They're going to get him down, and he's just going to throw it away.
Number 35.
My question is, how was he not in the grasp? I mean, he was clearly not going any further. He didn't get it past the line of scrimmage. So
he had number 7, had worked back to where he was, and I'm guessing the line judge is saying 7 was in the vicinity of the pass, which he was. And he was an eligible receiver, which keeps it from being.
I would have thought, though, they would have called him down in the backfield.
Yeah, with as much as they try to protect the players now, 35 had him wrapped up and was taking him down. You would have thought they would have blown the whistle.
So the Ponies come out with a different offense. They have trips to the right, one down here to the left with one running back, and it's a straight drop back. And
he tries to keep it.
There's going to be holding there.
And big AK Metlock works off his block and drags the quarterback down for a loss.
Number 70 looks like a man possessed in this first quarter so far.
And he's playing hard. He's playing fast. I like his leverage and the way he's really just changing the line of scrimmage as we wait for the penalty call. Looks like it'll be against the Mustangs, and the Blackcats are deciding whether to accept it. Looks like it'll be declined.
And surely Mustangs will bring out their punt team now since they're on their side of the field.
Right.
Be 4th down and 11.
It was holding against Madisonville. The Blackcats decided to decline it to bring up 4th down. It looks like the punt unit's coming out for the Mustangs, and the Blackcats will counter and bring out their punt return unit.
This was a tricky situation for the Ponies the last time they had the ball. And we'll have Holdman back to receive. Holdman and Miller are just arm tackles away from breaking one for a touchdown. We'll see if he can't return one for a touchdown here. Nice snap on this one and kicks up, and it looks like it's going to be returnable.
Deep sidewinding kick.
And Holdman gets hit right as he catches it. That's nice coverage by number 15 for the Madisonville Mustangs.
And that the way that ball was spinning, it led Holdman over to the right side of the field, and as he tried to come up to make sure he secured it before he tried to run forward, he caught it, and as soon as he looked up, that defender was right in his face and brought him down.
This is going to be the worst starting field position for the Blackcats so far.
Right, and they'll be at their own 24-yard line. And Proctor's back in the backfield with Wiley.
Twins to the top and one to the bottom. Holdman motions and they're going to hand the ball off to Wiley going around the right side. He makes one cut up the middle and a hard run for about 4 yards for Wiley there. As the Blackcats will bring up a 2nd and 6.
And the Blackcats looked good tonight, holding down the line of scrimmage and moving the way they need to, and moving the defensive line back. And those running backs are running right behind them, and they're finding those seams.
Well, the key thing about that bye week, and of course, being a kid, you want to play, but it allows you to get healthy coming into district. So now we got the Blackcats with Harrison in motion, Wiley in the backfield. It's going to be a snap back and a quick throw out to Clark.
And he breaks a tackle.
He breaks down the right side, and he's going to be taken down about the 42-yard line.
That was a gain of about 12 yards on that play. It'll be another Blackcat first down. And like you were saying before that, everyone wants to see their team play on a Friday, but going into district, and we're going to have a pretty tough district, it looks like, this year. Knowing that those guys were able to get an extra week of practice in, take care of their bodies, come in off a little rest, and come into district healthy is just as important.
We got Proctor under center for the first time. It'll be a pitch back to the right to Wiley. He catches it. There's nowhere for him to go. In fact, I think he's going to maybe lose a yard.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough spot on him. They got the quarterback Proctor under center and just looked like a good old sweep play out to the right. But the Mustangs were there lined up, and they were able to keep them from getting any yards on that.
Well, that was the first time the Mustangs have really stopped them on first down tonight. And that's going to bring up a
2nd and 10.
With Proctor in the backfield and Wiley with him, we got trips to the bottom and one to the top. Harrison's in motion once again. Snap back, and we're going to hand off to – no, Proctor fakes, and he comes around the left side. And that's going to be a pickup of about 3 yards. We'll bring down a 3rd and 7. That was a good fake by Proctor.
Yeah, he looks real good selling his fakes today. He's carrying them out and then pulling it out. When you've seen the way that the running backs can run and those other players get loose, you have to respect it. And then he pulls it out, and he's gone the other way in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, so now they come up to the line, and we're going to have an up back in Harrison. We got twins to the top and Holm down here to the bottom. Proctor and Wiley in the back is snapping. He's going to roll out to the right.
Throws out,
and it's dropped
by Christian Clark. Was the intended receiver on that play, and Proctor put a nice pass right on him, and it was just dropped by the receiver.
That's something that you don't want to see happen when you have all the momentum on your side.
Right.
And you had a first down, and a drop pass will just deflates you.
So the Cats will bring out, looks like their punt.
As Holem will be back to punt.
I think this is the first time we've seen Holem punt this year.
Snap back to Holem.
It's over his head, and Holem gets back on it. He makes a move. And he's
going to be brought down about the 15-yard line. Well, the Blackcats drop a pass, and then the next thing a bad snap. So the good thing is we are up 22-0, and we have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Blackcats leading. But you sure don't want to start shooting yourself in the foot this early.
No, you don't like to see the miscues and the mistakes. But like I was saying at the beginning of the play, you have a different punter than you've had all season, and you don't know if that's the difference in the snap or what it may have been. But unfortunately, the Blackcats had a bad snap on that and end up losing yards on that play. And the Mustangs will take over from the Blackcat 22, and the Blackcat defense is on the field, lined up, and we'll wait for the snap. Quarterback number 7 keeps it around the left end, and he's brought down by, that looked like number 9, Lamarian Miller.
Looked like a gain of about 10 for the Mustangs. Might be a 9, be second down and 1. As we have a 7 and a quarterback with 5 in the backfield. It's just, he's running a straight Wildcat is all he's running right now.
Looks like the Mustangs decided to go Wildcat. They went up tempo. They're just lining up and letting 7 line up and take the snap and try to athlete someone and get around the corners.
Well, it's working so far as they've moved the ball down to the Blackcat 2-yard line. We've got 1st and goal from the 2, and we'll see if that Blackcat defense can't stiffen right here at the goal line. As the snap's going to be back to 7, and he's going to hand off to 5 this time. He's going to be in for a Madisonville Mustang touchdown. With 1 minute and 31 seconds left in the first quarter, Madisonville gets on the board. We'll see if they're going to go for 2 or they'll go for 1.
Looks like they're leaving their offense out there.
We had a penalty on Mexia. Looked like an offsides, and of course they deferred it since they got in the end zone. And there they throw the tee out there.
Now we see the kicking unit come out onto the field.
Blackcats run a host of new cats out on the field. As the kicker is number 57 for the Mustangs. Snap back, and it looks like it went through.
It's good.
He has a heck of a leg on him.
Yeah. Looks like all his balls have like a little sideways spin and curve out to the left, but he boomed that one through, and both teams will head to their sideline and get ready for the kickoff.
As the Blackcats have a 22-7 lead here in the first quarter, we just want to tell you, Greer Media, thank him for getting this set back going for the Blackcats. That we hadn't had radio in many, many years. And we're back on the air now, and you fans out there that aren't able to make it to the game, now you're able to listen to myself, Jeremy Sunday, and Wallace High as Freddie's running the camera. Hoping y'all are enjoying our broadcast.
If you're listening to us on the live stream, give it a little bit of time, maybe a day or so, and then the video will be up and you'll be able to actually watch the game if you go to the YouTube link. And we'll bring that to you here shortly as we get ready for the kickoff.
The Mustangs will be kicking left to right here. As deep for the Blackcats once again is Miller and Jones. Snap back, it looks like
Jones will take the kickoff, and he
runs up the
middle, and he runs into a host of Mustangs at about the 30-yard line.
And that's where the Blackcats will take over on this next drive. The Blackcats, with giving up that drive, they need to get them a good drive here going and get those points back, Wallace.
Yeah, and, you know, I think in every football game, you know, you hope to score every possession, but no one really expects it. We saw the Blackcat offense kind of stall out that possession, so we'll see if they get back to rolling and moving the ball the way they did at first.
With trips up to the right, one to the left. Harrison in motion. He hands off to Wiley up the middle, and he's
still on his feet.
He's going to pick up a gain of about 4 yards. That was one tough run by Wiley.
Yeah. You know, and like we were saying earlier, they run tough through the middle, all of those running backs that get back there. And they put their head and pads down, and they try to get every yard that they can, and that's what we saw right there from Wiley.
Looking out here at the Blackcat offense, if you look out at the Mustang defense, they've made some adjustments on their outside. They've changed some players around, so they're trying to counteract some of the Blackcats on the outside. We got trips to the bottom, one to the top. Back to Proctor. He acts like he's going to throw it, and he takes off running down the right side.
He's running sideways, and
it looked like if he would have come down here to the left side, down to the bottom, he had a whole lot more open field.
Yeah, you know, it was a delayed draw, and he tried to make a play and got strung out on that one a little bit, which moved him back. Actually, looks like he lost about 2 yards on that play. And as the Blackcats wait for the play, for that live stream or that live video that you'll be able to see, go to tinyurl.com/Mexia Sports.
As the Blackcats come back to the line, it's going to be a snap back to Proctor, straight roll out to the left. He looks back, and there's nobody across the right side, and he just takes off. He's around the right side, and number 11 pushes him out about the 48-yard line.
And that's enough yard for another Blackcat first down.
I mean, you know, you can't really blame him on that. He had a couple of wide receivers down here that were wide open. However, when you turn and look to the right side and there's no white out there.
Right. You know, and on that play, it looked like he was rolling out to their left, to the bottom for us. And the receivers were breaking out of their routes, but there were a couple Mustang defenders that came through the line and caused him to kind of reverse field. And when he reversed field, there was nobody on the right side of the field. And
the only thing on the right side was that 5 and that 0 out there.
Yeah, he used his speed to burst past everybody until he was pushed out of bounds.
Well, now we have a snap back to Proctor. He fakes it. And he's going to be hit. That's going to be a lateral back pass.
You know, and it looked like they were setting up a quick pass out to the flats, so maybe Holman, to try to run like a quick wide receiver screen.
That'll be the end of the first quarter, but that was a terrible play to end the first quarter on.
Yeah, it was the result of the play was bad because the defender from Madisonville jumped the route. I think he read the play and jumped through and kept the passing lane bogged down for Proctor, and he actually made a good recognition and didn't throw it out there to the defender.
As we're changing ends of the fields here, I'm going to bring you some scores throughout the area. La Vega's beating Midlothian 20-7 in the second quarter. Rusk is down 6-7 to Henderson. Brownwood's leading Wiley 13-0. Cayuga is leading Hubbard 8-6. Wortham's leading Crossroads 16-0 at the end of one. Mart has driven down to Furio, and they're leading 16-0 in the first quarter. Mart got back on the winning streak last week, and they don't want to see another L. Milford and Strawn are playing. Once again, that's a number 1 against the number 2. And Strawn and Milford are tied at 8 in the first quarter. Good 6-man football game. Grosbeck's down 21-0 to Maypearl in the first quarter. Fairfield leads Lorena 14-7. That's a big district game for us. Mejia's up 22-7. As the Blackcats come back on the field, I'll let Wallace take it over here.
You know, looks like we'll have Proctor and Wiley in the backfield. Oh, and to start the quarter, we have a penalty against the Blackcats, which will march it back 5 yards. I'm not really sure what it was, unless was it a delay of game to start the quarter? You never want to see that.
Blackcats come here with 2 down to the bottom and 1 to the top. Snap back to Proctor. He's going to roll back, and they're going to throw it to number 4. Catches it and falls to the ground, and that's B.J. Sunday.
And, they had the screen set up, and it looked like if he would have been able to get it and turn upfield, he may have had some green grass to run, but the pass was a little bit short, and he made a play to dive back to it, and, it looks like he lost actually about a yard.
3rd and 30 here. You got a whole sheet on the backside that has 3rd and 30 plays, Wallace.
Right. Right.
We got trips to the top and one to the bottom. You have single coverage down here to the bottom, and it's just going to be a handoff to Wiley up the middle. But on that situation right there, I know you want to get some yards to get out, but your wide receivers are so much taller than the DBs. I don't see why you don't put one up and see if you can't get your wide receiver a chance to go make a play.
Yeah, that's a tough position because, like you say, at 3rd and 30, you don't have many plays. And right now it looks like Prince Banks is going to be back there to punt. And he's the normal punter, but you don't have many plays back, drawn up for 3rd and 30. And with this win, maybe they didn't feel like a pass through it would have been the best option.
Prince Banks punts this one. It's a deep punt.
And fair caught.
He had plenty of room to run.
Yeah.
Not for sure why he fair caught that, but another score here in our district, Salato's leading Conley 14-2 in the second quarter. 14-7 in the second quarter. That's a little surprise.
We talked about earlier how tough the district is, and you look up and you may assume that one team's going to be winning, but you never know on each Friday night here in this district. As both teams take the field again, the Mexia defense will come out. Madisonville's offense takes over at the Mustang 48-yard line.
Mexia comes out on defense. They need to stop here. It's going to be a handoff.
Handoff to number 5.
They're going to string him out here to the right side.
He just goes out of bounds.
The Blackcats actually hit each other harder that time than they did the Mustangs.
I think number 5 saw a couple of Blackcats converging on him, and he decided to make a business move and step out of bounds.
He didn't have no cat scratch fever, did he?
No.
Well, Mustangs look over to the sideline and get in the play. Looks like they're going to go twins to the top, tight formation with an up back, number 5 beside him, moving him over to the right side, snap back, and they're going to hand it off to number 5, and he's going to try to come out to the right side. And there's just
number 12, looks 12 and 11 were there to just stop that.
That would be Busby is number 11 and Hubbard's number 12. Yeah. And, there was just nowhere to go. And he barely got back to the line of scrimmage and might have lost a yard on that one.
Yeah, you see.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Ponies here. See what they have in their bag of tricks. Try to get a first down and move the chains. They come up with twins to the top, tight formation, snap back, and he's going to drop back, and he's going to take off running to the right. He finds a man wide open at the 40, and he's tackled about the 38-yard line. Number 12 out there was just wide open.
Yeah, he ran a good route there, and he came back to work back to the ball before the cornerback could break back, and the quarterback delivered the ball right on time, and he was able to catch it and move the sticks.
We got an update. Mark's leading Refugio 22-6 as Mark drove all the way to Refugio today. That's about a 6.5-hour drive.
That's a good drive. We go through Refugio going to the coast.
Well, the Blackcats come back up, and guess who's there to meet him?
Big number 70, A.K. Metlock, meets the ball carrier in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. And like we said, seems like we went about 2 or 3 plays without calling his name, and I think he realized it also, and he stepped up that play and made that time and made a great play.
When the Blackcats come up to the line of scrimmage on defense, we have the Mustangs on offense. Tight formation, twins down there to the bottom. It's going to be a snap back, and he's going to fake a pass, and he rolled out here to the left, and he's not going anywhere. And he decided to slide just a little bit too late there.
Right. I know he dropped back, and he looked down the field, and it seemed like that left side opened up. And as he tried to get around the corner, Dravion Cooper came screaming from his linebacker position, and he got to him before he could get down into that slide. We'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the Blackcat 38-yard line.
As we come 12 comes to the top with 21. We got twins to the top and one to the bottom. They got an up back and 3 and 5 in the backfield for the Ponies, and a snap back, just a straight drop back. And he's got an open room out here, and let's see what happens here. Good block. And he is just hammered on the sideline.
Lamarian Miller came from his safety spot and just leveled the quarterback.
However, that was an 11-yard gain and enough for a first down. That's the bad side, but he did get crushed.
And on that play, they did exactly what we've seen the Mexia offense do, is they ran receivers down the field and had everything moving one way, and the quarterback just let it all develop, and then he took out the opposite way, and he had a bunch of green grass.
Well, after that big hit, they bring their quarterback out, and they come back out in a Wildcat with number 7. And this is what moved them down the field so quickly the last time they had the ball. It's going to be a snap back. Of course, it's just going to be a straight run up the middle with 7. And that time the Cats are going to corral them for about a 4-yard gain, as the Blackcats are going to substitute some players here.
And looking at it, it looks like whenever they bring in 7, they're just going to line up and run power with number 7 and try to get him off one of those tackles.
It's the Tebow effect.
Yeah. And the defense is going to they're going to have to realize that he's in there and what they're doing. It looks like they made an adjustment.
Here we go, snap back. Once again, he just runs to the right side. Gain of about 4.
Bring up third and about 2 to 3 yards. We'll call it a short 3, a long 2.
The Blackcats have got to get the stop here. The ball's on their own 20-yard line. We need Big Arick in the backfield for about a 3 or 4 yard loss here.
Yeah, and when you see a player making plays like Arick's made tonight, it looks like they're trying to combat that, and they're just running straight, direct runs with number 7. And that time they hand it off to 5, and he's around the edge, and he's going to get into the end zone.
Madisonville scores another touchdown and brings the score to 22-13 in the second quarter with 6 minutes and 36 seconds left. It looks like they're going to come out and settle for an extra point.
And that time it looks like they found a little more room out off the right edge of the offense, and they just kept running the ball that way until they were able to get into the end zone.
Well, the Mustangs have come roaring back. They're going to be down by 9, by 8 points now, with that extra point being good. So after a 22-0 first quarter, the Mustangs, actually it was 22-6 first quarter, the Mustangs score first here in the second to bring the score closer. With 6 minutes and 33 seconds left, we have the Blackcats leading the Mustangs 22-14. It's tough to stop that. I mean, they're going to line up, and you see it in college football all the time too. They're going to line up. You know what they're going to do, but they just get 4 yards, 3 yards. You never see anything explosive. But when they bring that Wildcat in, it's 4 at this time, 4 at this time, 3 at this time, and it just wears you down.
Yeah, and that was probably the best drive we've seen from Madisonville tonight. And it seems like that was probably I wasn't counting all the plays, Jeremy, but I would say it was probably an 8 or 9, maybe 10 play drive. And we saw the Blackcats running some guys in and out of the defensive lineup. And I think maybe you just seen a little fatigue there at the end. But now we'll set for the kickoff. Madisonville will be kicking from right to left to the Blackcats.
Once again, we got Jones and Miller to return. See if we can't get a good return here, get some good field position, and march down and score ourselves. Oh, and the ball falls off the tee right as we go to kick.
And that's one of the other things the wind can cause. And the Mustangs were moving, and the kicker was going, looked like the old Charlie Brown play, where he gets ready to kick and the ball moves and he just kicks through the air and falls. Although the Mustang kicker was able to stay on his feet, that ball just fell off the tee. He'll reset it and line himself back up.
Well, what I'm hoping with this wind is maybe fall blew in tonight.
Oh, yeah. It feels great up here tonight because it's been pretty steamy the last few weeks.
We got the kickoff, and it looks like it's going to be Lamar Miller. No, he's just going to let it go.
He lets it hit in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback.
So the Blackcats will start at their own 20 or 25-yard line to start this drive. We don't see very many kickoffs, kick touchbacks in high school. I know in college and NFL it's a 25, and it will be on the 25 here for the Blackcats, as that's what will take over on this drive.
You know, the funny thing is that we don't, you know, here in Mexia we see that high bell ringer a lot. We don't see the kicker drive it too much. We haven't seen it this year, but watching my son's 8th grade team, they just let their kicker put a foot in it, and it's almost a touchback every time. He booms the ball down the field.
Have a snap, hand off to
and
Wiley.
Gets it.
He gets up the middle, and they grab a hold of him for a gain of only about a yard there. As those holes that we seen earlier, they're not there right now. Madisonville's caught their second win so far.
Yeah, they're clamping down, and they've closed some of those stances and is closing the gaps down. We're going to have to see if this Mexia offensive line can get that push they were getting at first again.
As they come up to the line, we got two running back split. Proctor looks like it's Jones and Wiley, and the ball's going to be handed off to Wiley, and he's going to be brought down at about the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd and 9. And you can just see Madisonville starting to catch fire here, and there's lots of electricity on their side of the ball right now.
You know, watching the lineup of the defense, looks like they've made an adjustment. They're walking their safeties up out here, and when we got trips or twins to one side, they're covering with their safeties and their outside linebackers, and they're bringing that one other guy on the outside.
Snap back to Proctor. He rolls out to his left. 32's hard on him, and Proctor runs up the middle, and he's going to be stacked at the line of scrimmage on the left side. As all of a sudden, Mexia's offenses went into a stalemate here.
Yeah, and Madisonville's made an adjustment to it. They're bringing that extra man off the edge to account for those outside runs where we don't have an extra person to block for them, and they're going one-on-one and hoping that man can bring down the ball carrier, and on that drive they were able to. So we'll get a punt again from Banks as the teams line up. It looks like we have number 10 for the Mustangs back deep to receive.
It's a good kick by Banks. And it's going to be down the sideline.
Takes a bounce.
Looks like it's going to go out about the 28 or 29-yard line, 30-yard line, 31.
Looks like he's marking it out at the 32.
It's a good kick by Banks, and that's where the Madisonville offense will take over. As we have a break here, we're going to go to our sponsors. We'll go to our sponsors here on a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer & Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
You didn't mute our mics first, so it's a lot of feedback. All right, and we're back here at Blackcat Stadium as the Mustangs snap the ball. They hand off to the running back, and
looks like
the ball's on the ground, and Mexia saying they recovered it.
They're saying it was down.
But, yeah, the line judge comes in pointing at the ground, which signals down by contact.
As there for a minute, that was what the Blackcats needed to get a little more urgency to them, but that was a good first stop. It looks like it's going to be a yard loss.
You know, and that was big Eric Matlock in the middle of that again. He and looks like big Connor McNeil were able to stuff up that middle on that run.
As they come back to the line of scrimmage, it's going to be they're going to try to roll out, and he's not going nowhere. No,
he breaks free.
Loose.
Oh, and they got him again.
Get him. It's a fumble. What are they going to? They're going to call a forward pass.
Yeah, and there goes the flag for intentional grounding because there wasn't a receiver in the area that time. He was in the grasp, and it did not get back to the line of scrimmage, even though he was able to shovel
a horse collar. I seen a referee down here screaming for our motion and horse collar, but there's no way that was horse collar.
I think the coaches from Madisonville were wanting that called, but he didn't.
It's going to be intentional grounding.
Yeah. The defender was grabbing a hold to the jersey of the quarterback. He was able to pull out of that the first time, and then the next one was able to wrap him up, and the quarterback just kind of shovel passed it out in front of him, which is what drew the flag.
3rd and about 22 for the Mustangs as they come out with trips to the top, one down here to the bottom. This is another one of them plays like we talked about early.
Looks like we'll see number 3 back in at quarterback.
We got to snap back to the quarterback. It's just going to be a straight handoff.
No, he keeps it around the end.
And the Blackcats look like they're going to push him out of bounds for about a 10 or 11-yard gain, but that's still not going to be enough for a first down for the
Bring
Ponies.
up about 4th and 11.
So as they hold here, let's see. Surely they're going to punt. Mexia get the ball back with really good field position and a chance to score right before the end of the half.
Yeah, and you want to try to get the ball in the end zone or get points on the board here because Madisonville will get the ball to start the second half, and if you can put up points and widen your lead here, it'll put you in better position when you go into the half and come out.
Yes. Having
to give the ball to the opponent.
So snap back to the punter.
On the ground, he gets it up and gets it away. It's a low line drive kick to Holman, which is going to give him time to return it.
We're going
to have a penalty
here
for blocking the back.
So we'll start about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and that wasn't a good penalty there because it wasn't much contact, but at that time you're right in front of the referee. You don't even put your hands on the back of the defender. I don't think he even changed the course of the defender at all, but the simple fact that you reach out, put your hands on his back, and he makes an effort to make the play, you're going to draw that flag when the referee's looking right at you.
So that's going to put Mexia starting on about their own 24-yard line.
Yeah.
Instead of having the ball up around the 35.
So we'll see the Blackcat offense come out and see what the Blackcat staff has in store for this possession.
Well, as the Blackcats come back out, they're going to have one man to the top and trips down here to the bottom.
It'll be Proctor and Wiley in the backfield.
There's Henderson motions in it's just going to be a snap back and a
handoff to Wiley.
And he almost breaks it. It's going to be
another
a shoestring tackle.
But that's a gain of about 4 for Wiley on that play.
So close to breaking that. I mean, there was nobody else to get him on that play.
Brings up 2nd and 6, and we say it over and over that they're only, one man and one shoestring tackle away from breaking it on several plays. Looks like the Blackcats are moving a little slower right now. Gonna take their time and their chance to work some of the clock as they run offense.
Blackcats come to the line. It's going to be trips to the bottom, one to the top. Harrison's going to go in motion once again. Snap back to Proctor. See, hands off to Wiley, and he goes up the middle, and he's going to be a gain of about 10 yards to the 39-yard line.
That time he hit the hole so hard and he exploded and accelerated so fast that he ran right into his lead blocker, and then the lead blocker kind of slowed him down, but he was still able to pick up a gain of 10 on that.
As the Blackcats come back to the line, we have trips down here to the right, one to the top again. Harrison in motion, snap back to Proctor. It's going to be a handoff to Wiley, and just going to be stacked at the line of scrimmage once again. No, he's going to gain about 2 yards.
He keeps driving his feet and it doesn't look like they're going to give him
where he went down at. He went down.
They're marking him about 1.5 yards short of where he actually went down. And I think we got a whistle from the opposite line judge before the play was over because Wiley was still moving the pile forward.
Once again, the Blackcats come out with trips to the bottom and one to the top. It's going to be a motion. Harrison inside once again. Snap back. And Proctor's out running for his life. He's rolling back to his left. A wide open man down the middle of the field, and it's going to be Banks.
And he overthrows him.
As he was wide open, nobody around him, just off the fingertips.
And Proctor was just kind of running and scrambling. I'm not really sure what happened on that play because the ball was snapped, and it looked like it just kind of hung, and then all of a sudden it reappeared on its way back to the quarterback, and everyone else was moving, and it gave the defense time to get across the defense time to get across the line, and Proctor just had to get away. And you wish it could have been a completion, but throwing that ball away is not as bad as what that play could have been.
Well, Jones is in there with Everson tight. Twins to the bottom, one to the top. It's going to be a snap back to Proctor, roll out to the right. He steps, he's rolling, he's ringing out. And Proctor's going to lose the ball, and Mustang's going to pick it up.
They're going to call him down by contact. You know, there wasn't anywhere to go with the ball on that, and he tried to reverse out, but there was a defender standing right in his face once he reversed, and then Proctor just lost his footing and went down.
As that was a loss of about 14 or 15 yards there.
Yeah, and if you're looking at your offense, you don't want to see negative plays like that in those situations.
As we look here at some scores, Wortham's up 16-6 in the second quarter. Mart's leading 28-6 in the second quarter. China Spring is 22, non-UIL opponent 28 in the second. Rusk is leading Henderson 14-9 in the second quarter. Wortham's leading Crossroads 16-6. Milford's leading Strong 16-4 in six-man battle there in Milford. Grosbeck's down 31-0 at halftime. Fairfield's leading Lorena 24-14 in the second quarter. As we go back to play, Conley and Salato's tied 14-14. The Blackcats come on to punt. Banks is back for the punt. It's a nice snap back, and Banks gets a good leg on it here, and it's going to hit and roll up the left sideline and go out of bounds about the 39-yard line of the Mustangs. It looks like that wind is really pushing that ball off of Banks' leg.
Yeah, and I noticed we noticed it in the first quarter coming off the Madisonville kicker's foot, and it looked like he had a little side spin and kick to it, but watching through the game, it looks like as soon as that ball's getting in the air, that wind's catching it, and it's pushing everything towards that home side of the stadium. The teams are entering the field as we see the Mustang offense and the Blackcat defense come out. There's 1:35 left in the half. And like we said earlier, you're wanting to see the Blackcat defense hold and stop the Mustangs from getting any points on the board, as the Mustangs will get the ball back to start the second half.
A little pass out here to the left, and there's a block in the back right there. I don't know why we didn't call that, but they get a gain of about 14 yards. But there was a clear block in the back, and the line judge looking right at it. I'm not for sure why a flag wasn't thrown there.
Yeah, they just ran a little screen out of the backfield, and like you said, the cornerback looked like he had him lined up, and then the receiver just kind of took him out, and the ball catcher was able to get some extra positive yards out of it.
Well, snap back, and it's going to look like the same thing. No, we're going to go down deep down the right sideline.
And it's overthrown and out of bounds.
Smith on the coverage for the Blackcats.
And we got a flag here at the line of scrimmage.
See what we got here.
Got holding against the Mustangs.
No.
Oh, and now, well, we had the umpire to signal holding against the Mustangs, and now we have one. Okay, and now they're going to march it off. We had one line judge look like he was waving the flag off, but the penalty had been called by the
So now that's going to bring up a first down and 22 for the Mustangs. The Blackcats got 1:07 left here in the third quarter with a 22-14 leads. The Cats on defense, going to be a snap back, quick throw out to the right. Once again, it's going to be a drop pass. No way! They are going to call a penalty for them hitting the running back or hitting the wide receiver when all he was doing is running for the ball. That is not a penalty. There is no way.
That was Lamaria Miller. I'm not sure what the call is, and I don't know if he's going to try to call targeting on it, but it looks like he hit him with his shoulders. Okay.
I was going to say there's no. He was going for the ball.
Yeah, he went in sideways and kind of just shoulder checked the receiver and knocked him back. So I'm not sure what the penalty.
Because he actually got his hands on the ball before it was able to hit the ground, because he almost come away with the interception. It kind of reminds you of that hit last week with Heath on Hearn in the Cowboy game.
Right.
Heath wasn't looking for nothing but the ball, and they collided.
Right. The ball gets there, and the defender gets there at the same time, and he's making a play on the ball, and then the receiver and the defender just happen to hit each other.
We got lots of confusion here on the field is trying to figure out where we're marking the ball here from the Zebras.
I mean, it looked like it should have been an incomplete pass. So it should have gone back to the previous
original
line of scrimmage.
And they're putting him down as gaining 2 yards on a play that was an incomplete pass.
I'm not really sure what we're saying because the ball rolled to the Blackcat sideline.
There's lots of confusing coaches out here on the field for the Madisonville Mustangs.
We have the Madisonville coaches out on the field, the Mexia coaches out on the field. Now,
now we're going to move
like
the
the
ball.
Refereeing crew they're discussing with each other.
How do you gain 2 yards on an incomplete pass is out of my mind, but Madisonville just gained 2 yards on an incomplete pass. We got 1:04 left here in the first half of the Blackcat Homecoming 2019. Straight drop back. And he's going to take off running. 15's wide open and drops the ball. As Madisonville shooting themselves in the foot right now. Going back to this last play, Wallace, I think that's the first time I've ever seen an incomplete pass turn into positive yardage.
I'm not sure what happened on that, but that's where they put it and lined them up. And
I mean, you got sticks on the sideline showing you where to put the
ball.
ball.
Both teams lined up to play. So we look at third and about 20 now.
So straight drop back for number 3, and he's going to take off
running,
running. He's going to be grabbed.
He gets
wide
the
open
pass
wide receiver across the middle. He's going to have enough for the first down for Madisonville Mustangs at the 30-yard line. As the Blackcats just left the middle of the field wide open there.
Yeah, and in those situations, we need to get more push from our. Looks like we're just rushing 3 right now. We're gonna have to get more push from those defensive linemen, so that those secondary players aren't trying to cover for so long.
Straight drop back, faked out here to the bubble, and he's going to try to throw. He's going back across, and there's a penalty down. And it looks like we're going to have a block in the back or a straight drag down. I think 35 just got pretty much tackled like he had the football.
There were 2 defenders coming off the right edge that looked like they were going to get the quarterback when he scrambled out this way. And looks like big number 72 just wrapped around 35 and took him down to the ground to keep him from making a play on the quarterback.
As we sit here with another confusing discussion. Not been a good 2 to 5 minutes here for the
and we're standing here and we're pretty quiet because I think we're like everybody else in the stands. And the flag comes out and we just kind of stop and wait to see what's going to be called because I'm not sure that anybody is ever positive what's going to be called until the ref turns on the mic and lets us know.
Sometimes you wish they'd accidentally turn their mic on and we could hear them talking in them huddles.
Right. And so it looks like the penalty will be against the Mustangs.
I think what was going on is Sandoval was trying to say it was holding in the backfield, so it should be 10 from where the holding was, and the officials are going to mark it from where the line of scrimmage was.
Yeah.
So Madisonville comes with twins to the top and twins to the bottom. We've got 30 seconds left, and it's been an exciting last minute and 15 seconds here. Madisonville looks to the side to get the play. There's going to be a timeout called for the Blackcats.
And while they take a timeout, we're going to take a timeout and bring you some coverage from our sponsors.
Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
All right, and as we come back to the game, it'll be Madisonville Mustang ball at the Blackcat 40-yard line, and we're waiting for the start of play. And we get the whistle, and both teams line up and get ready for the snap. Snaps back. Quarterback rolls out, and
and it's going to be caught about the 29-yard line, but he's tackled, and Madisonville's going to use one of their last 2 timeouts.
You know, and they move it up to about the 30-yard line and brings up second and about 10 with 18 seconds left. And you got to think Madisonville is at least trying to get in field goal range to try to put some more points on the board before the end of the half. That'll bring them down to, they'll actually have 1 timeout left with 18 seconds left as they talk it over. We'll see what they come out and run. You know, Jeremy, looking at it, with 1 timeout left here in high school football at 18 seconds, I would think you'd have 1 play if it's in the middle of the field and then call a timeout to bring your field goal kicking unit on, or you'd have 2 plays towards the sideline, and then you use your time. If you're able to get out of bounds, you run the second play and then use your timeout. You know, we see it oftentimes in college and NFLs where you have more experienced players and they're able to run these situations a little better. You only have 1 timeout, so you don't have much room for
the one
for
good
a
thing
miscue.
they do have is they stop the clock on a first down. So if you're able to make a first down, the clock will stop until
you'll have to hurry up, and get set up.
So we got to snap back. Look like we have a little motion. They're not going to call it. A throw out to number 12 right at the yard marker.
You know, and they're going to give him credit for the catch, but it looked like he was bobbling that ball as he crossed the sideline and went out of bounds.
So with 13 seconds left, it's going to be a 3rd down and 1.
And that puts the ball at the 21-yard line. We'll see if they try to get it across and get a first down and then run another play real quick, or if they're going to take another shot and then line up to kick it. Snaps back. Quarterback rolls out to the left. He looks and he throws back across his body, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 1 with 8 seconds left, and Madisonville will bring out their field goal kicking unit.
That'll put them to 22-17 with getting the lead, getting the ball back in the second half, trying to take the lead. Yeah, they're going to put the ball on the right hash here to, fight to offset the wind.
I'm not sure that. I think that's where they snapped it from before, because you don't get to choose where you line up the ball.
No.
And we'll see. This is one of those situations where the wind can play a big part.
Let's snap back, and it kicks up. And it looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Madisonville kicks a field goal, makes it 22-17.
With 3 seconds left on the clock, we will get a kickoff from Madisonville. And then, the Blackcats will have a chance to try to make something happen on this kickoff return, and maybe they can get an electrifying play before the half. If not, we'll go into the half at 22-17, where we saw the Blackcats come out and storm to a 22-0 lead early in the first quarter, and then we've seen Madisonville answer back with 17 unanswered points. So, we'll see what happens in these last 3 seconds, and then we'll get ready to go into halftime and see what adjustments can be made.
We're going to have to find somehow to open some more holes for Wiley and Jones as we come back out, because what's happened to us here in the second quarter is we're losing so much yardage on the ground in sacks. It's trying to reverse field, and as Proctor spins, there's some there right there waiting on him, and he doesn't see them, but he's just trying to make an athletic play. But it's some play. We're going to have to draw up some plays to keep from doing the pivotal back down the middle of the field. As we got a squib kick here, and it's going to go back to BJ Sunday.
Will get it.
So he going to run
runs into a blocker, and he just kind of stops there, and he's tackled by the.
On that, you're kind of hoping that he'll go ahead and let it go back to Trey Jones and let him run it up the middle.
Yeah, and then just become a lead blocker and pick up some more.
We're going to go to halftime here at 2019. We got 28 minutes at halftime for the homecoming ceremonies. From Blackcat Field, it's been Wallace High and Jeremy Sunday with the first half of the Blackcats and the Madisonville Mustangs. Mexia leading 22-17. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back here in a little bit with some scores and some stats, hopefully. Thank you.
Park, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
Today's game brought to you by Eagle Auto Parts, located on Main Street. For more information, visit eagleauto.com.
You're listening to Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Park, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
Today's game brought to you by Eagle Auto Parts, located on Main Street. For more information, visit eagleauto.com. Today's game brought to you by
You're listening to Black Cat Football and Greer Time Media. Let's take it to the booth with your host, Freddie Greer Sr.
All right, as we come back here at halftime, Madisonville Mustang band's out on the field. Got a really good show being put on by them. We have some stats here we're going to bring you for the first half. For the Madisonville Mustangs, they had 5 completions on 12 attempts for 72 yards, 7 first downs, 2 penalties for 20 yards, 18 rushes for 82, and 2 punts for an average of about 35 and a half yards a punt. The Cats, Proctor had 7 rushes for 86, Jones 2 for 22, Wiley 11 for 92. We were 5 out of 8 passing attempts for 39 yards, and we had 10 first downs. So Mejia's leading on the yardage and first down situation at halftime, and as they're leading on the board by a small margin. As I want to thank the guys in the booth, Steve Trennell and Vance Rose, for getting our stats to us at halftime and after the game. But I want to also bring you some scores here at halftime, as China Spring is still 22, non-UIL 28. La Vega's up 30-7 in the third quarter. Stephenville and Georgetown is Stephenville up 14-13. Rusk leads Henderson at halftime 20-17. Lemp leads Gatesville 59-0 at halftime. Brownwood leads Wiley 26-0. Hubbard leads Cayuga 28-14 at halftime. Wortham on the road in Crossroads and leading 16-6 at halftime. Valley Mills leads Meridian 55-0 at halftime. Frost leads Bartlett 14-6. Milford and Strawn are tied at 14 at halftime. Good 6-man football game over there in Milford. Blum's leading Penelope 40-20 at halftime. Freddie, I hate to say this, but Maypearl is beating Grosback 31-0 at halftime.
I hate to hear that.
Fairfield is leading Lorena 27-14 at halftime. Crockett's up on Trinity big, 42-0. Franklin's leading Cold Spring 29-0. Caldwell is leading Lexington 14-0 at halftime. Of course, Mahaya's leading here 22-17. Grandview's leading West 21-17. Good game by West over there in West. As they're only down a couple of touchdowns to the number one team in 3A. Tig and Hempstead are tied 28 all at halftime. Conley and Salado are tied at 14. A couple of finals we have. Ranger was beat by Dawson 40-0, and Mount Com lost 56-6 to Avalon. That is your halftime scores being brought to you by the Grid Time Media, Woodman Life, Joe Fridays, Napa, Mookie's Barbecue, and Greer & Greer Mobile Detail. We have some special interviews coming up here. As we said in the opening of the broadcast, that this was the 30-year anniversary of the 1989 state championship team for the Blackcats. So here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have some interviewees from that team, and we're just going to ask them some questions about maybe that day of playing and what it's like 30 years later being on a championship team, the only one that we've had here at Blackcat Stadium. We'll have a couple come up here as the band for Madisonville is finishing up here, and we're going to have some homecoming festivities here in a minute, and we'll announce the homecoming queen here tonight for the Mexia Blackcat 2019 homecoming. As Freddie Greer and Jeremy Sunday are up here, as Wallace has stepped away for a minute. This wind has been awful nice tonight, Freddie. If I'd had shorts on, I might have been a little cool.
Yes, it is.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's real windy.
But it's a nice, cool night. I see Madisonville didn't even walk all the way back down to the weight room.
No, they didn't at all.
Made it over to the baseball stands, and so we sit here and wait on our guests coming up. Hoping y'all are enjoying the play-by-play being brought to you by Greer Time Media. Freddie's running the camera, and of course you got Wallace High and Jeremy Sunday bringing you the play-by-play live. Once again, this is our first year of going, and we're going to be doing football, and then when we go into basketball, we'll have the basketball games, and when we go into baseball, we'll have the baseball games. Special night here, Freddie.
Yeah, very special night. I also want to give a shout out to HNS Sports for making this happen.
As we sit here and watch Madisonville, Freddie, they've put on a pretty good show here. It's one of the better halftime performances that we've seen this year.
Yeah, just when the coach gonna come out with a regroup here in the second half.
Mexia's going to have to make some adjustments. They come out in the first quarter like gangbusters and jumped up 22-0, and Madisonville slowly chipped away at that lead. And so Mexia's going to have to make some adjustments and see if they can't get back to opening some holes for their running backs to get back to them 10 and 12, 13-yard gains.
Oh, yeah. I guess as they make their way up here, we'll go to a quick
commercial break, and we'll be back with hopefully an interview with one of our state champion Blackcats from 1989.
to Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
You're listening to Black Cat Football and Greer Time Media. Let's take it to the booth with your host, Freddie Greer Sr.
As we come back to Black Cat Field here, we turn around and we have the two gentlemen that we were talking about for you. We have Ike Jones and Jeffrey Proctor up here from the state championship team in 1989. First, we're going to have Ike on. Ike, just a couple of questions as we get ready here for homecoming. This is y'all's 30-year anniversary.
Woo, that time flies, huh?
It's hard to believe that.
Right.
I remember watching y'all play in that state game. It was cold that day.
Yeah, it was cold, brother. It was cold.
As most youngsters, we all looked up to all y'all. Just tell us 30 years later, thinking back on that, what's that special day, what that has meant to the rest of your life?
Man, that was the best time of my life right there, man. Can't explain, man. It's a great feeling to go and accomplish a goal that you set out from the first of the season, and to wind up getting it done. It was a great feeling, man. It's probably the best one in my life.
You know, a lot of people, they don't understand the team camaraderie and just, you know, that was your senior year, correct?
Yes.
And to go out on a winning note, knowing that you didn't lose your senior year with a bunch of seniors that year. If I can remember right, it was very senior laden that year.
Yes, sir.
And just to go out there with your everyday friends that you run around with and probably still stay in contact with.
We try to stay pretty close with these guys.
Looking down there on the field, it looks like there's about 25 of y'all here tonight, right?
Yeah. We had the locker room pretty crunk.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, y'all did something right, because them cats come out that first quarter and was barn beaters. They were up and down that field.
Yeah, Rodney Smith, he fired them up pretty good there.
Oh.
Yeah. I think the white helmets might have something to do with it.
You think so? They look pretty sharp tonight.
Yeah, they do. Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to put in? Just over 30 years, you said that was probably some of your favorite times. Of course, that's when we're all younger and we feel a lot better, and that's when we make friendships for lifetime.
Right.
But
looking back on them guys, man, we was like family, man. We sweated, we worked, we did everything together. We laughed, we cried. We all cried together in '88.
Yes.
So we had a goal. We didn't want to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But
the one thing I do want to, Ike, is thank you, because you've stayed in the area and you've helped with all the little dribblers. You've helped with baseball some. I'm sure you've helped with flag football, and you've been a great leader in the community. And there was a lot of those guys off that team that's done that and been really good for the youth around here. And that's something that I want to tell you thank you for doing for these kids.
Oh, man, no problem, man. We love giving back. Like you say, we give all we can and do what we can for whoever we need to be getting done to.
Well, for our first interview here, this was legend Ike Jones. He was on the 1989 state championship team, and thank you for your interview and thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll get a big Black Cat win here on homecoming 2019, commemorating y'all's 30-year state championship win.
I appreciate it. We can get that edge set. We can pull it out.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, Ike. Next, we have no need to even announce here. Everybody around here knows who Jeffrey Proctor is. But, Jeff, I was asking Ike, you looking back after 30 years, what can you say you remember most about that night?
All the hard work we put in, starting back in August, going all the way to December. it was just unbelievable feeling, man.
Well, that day was cold, and I remember I was in there heating my hands up on the warmers, but Vernon come out and got up on us and was up on us at halftime, and just hearsay, I heard Coach Cobb come in there, didn't say a word, and turned up and looked at y'all and said, "Who's going to go out and win a championship with me?"
Well, what he really did was he put, what was the score? I think it was 20
to nothing.
21 to 7, I think. He put 22 to 21 on the board and walked out. Didn't say a word.
And y'all got up as leaders.
Well, we had a powwow in there with a couple of players, and and we got it together. We came out. And we knew if they couldn't play 4 quarters, we was gonna come, because we were gonna play 4 quarters.
Yes, I think out of all my years, that 88, 89, and 90 team is probably some of the hardest hitting defensive teams that we've had here in Mexia.
I have to agree with you, man, because on Tuesday we used to hit, and I mean we practiced so hard. Friday was just it was easy.
Yes,
it was easy.
Well, I remember in that playoff run, was it Newton that you tipped a kick, an extra point off? You come around the end and you tipped that and made it go right. He was he had hit every extra point that whole year, and you were able to make it around the edge and tip it to go wide right for us to win that ball game.
Yes, my coach told me, he showed me an angle all week in practice. If I took that angle, I could get in there and get it. And fortunately, I was able to get in there and get it.
Well, that year we had a lot of special cats, and you was one of them. Ike was one of them. We had Cooper that year. We had Roberts that year. We had a couple of quarterbacks, Randy that year too.
Yeah.
And most of them are still around here. And like I told Ike, I just want to thank you, Jeff, for being big in the community. I've coached against you. I've coached with you. And we've made a big, hopefully a big stride in our youth groups around here over the years. As the teams that we've coached and coached against and coached with, they're up now and they're juniors and seniors, and it's amazing to see the young men they've turned into.
Yes, man, we got to, when you look back and see the kids that you've taught and coached coming up, man, they some nice, respectful kids, and, I love them all. I love them all, and they just respectful kids.
Well, I know it's pretty special you to come to Blackcat games. You have a coach down there on the sideline. You have a son playing.
Yeah. That's all right, man. When you see him out there, the one that's playing get a little frustrated. Like you see the older one go over there and try to calm him down. That's all right.
Well, man, I sure appreciate you taking your time, and we just thank y'all for your 30 years commemoration of winning the state championship, the only one brought back to Mexia so far. Hopefully in the near future we can have a couple of more brought back. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your community involvement. And just thank you for the person you are these days.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us also. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a break as we have homecoming going on here. And we have our last young lady walking out for homecoming queen as they've announced our sophomores and our juniors. So now they'll be getting ready to call out who the queen will be for 2019. And I'll try to sit here and stay with you as we walk across, and they're giving out all the special announcements for these young ladies as they walk across the field. I want to thank Jeff and Ike for taking their time out and coming up here to spend a little time with us and give us some insight to how it was during that 1989 team. I was probably in 7th or maybe 6th or 7th grade, and that was some of my funnest time is watching them play ball. They had a heck of a group, and they were very talented. And we had some really good games that year. As they get ready to call out the winner, calling out the sponsors. They're announcing the old winners of all the 9s back to 09, 99, 89, 79, as they're here. So now they're going to announce the as we're getting ready here. We're here at Blackcat Field at Homecoming 2019. I'll be right back. Okay. I couldn't hear who he said. Oasis. To Blackcat Field, I want to announce the 2019 Homecoming Queen winner was Oasis Keener. That will be our 2019 Homecoming Queen winner. So since our queen has been announced, we've had our interviews, we've brought you stats, and we brought you scores. We're going to bring you some music until we start the second half, as the Madisonville Mustangs will start off with the ball and on the first drive of the second half. They have no Madisonville in here, do they?
Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer & Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
You're listening to Black Cat Football and Greer Time Media. Let's take it to the booth with your host, Freddie Greer Sr.
As we're back at Blackcat Field on Homecoming 2019 for the Mexia Blackcats, leading 22-17. To start the second half, it's Jeremy Sunday and Wallace Hire here to bring you the game. The Blackcats come back on the field as Madisonville does. We had our homecoming queen announced as she rides around the track. Oasis Keener was the 2019 homecoming queen. As Madisonville gets ready to receive the second half kickoff, the Blackcats are on the field getting ready to kickoff, and Madisonville's getting ready to receive. Wallace, what did you think about that halftime show we had with Mr. Proctor and Jones there?
Yeah, it's all, like I said at the beginning of the night, it's good to be able to recognize those guys for all their contributions to the town, to the football program, and being the first ones and only ones so far to bring a state title to the town. And, I enjoy getting to see those guys and talk to them about some of those things, especially with myself, having grown up here, watching them when I was young as they were out there playing, and being able to get out here and play as a Black Cat also, and now being able to watch these Black Cats play. It's always good to get them up, get some recognition, and just hear their thoughts on things. I enjoyed having them up here. I enjoyed watching the homecoming halftime, watching the young ladies be recognized and walk across the field. And, right now as we see our homecoming queen being carted around, it's always a good thing and fun every year for everybody to see who's going to win that award. And right now we're getting ready for the Black Cats to tee it off. They're lined up. Our kicker, Mr. Martinez, is set up to kick the ball, and he boots it away. It's another high kick, fielded about the 19-yard line. The Cats are down in coverage.
And he breaks out to the outside.
And he's drugged down about the 31-yard line.
Well, now they've had halftime, and the first half was pretty much Mexia dominated the first quarter, and Madisonville dominated the second quarter. We're going to have coaching adjustments at halftime, so now we're going to see which team wants it the most.
Right. Mexia came out and scored 22 unanswered. Then Madisonville stormed back and scored 17 unanswered. Like we said earlier, they go into the locker rooms at halftime, make those adjustments. Now we're going to see who can come out and execute the adjustments they made the best. We're going to see what's going to happen this first drive.
Madisonville comes in with a tight formation, one man in the backfield with the quarterback, twins down below, and it's just going to be a handoff up the middle, and he is smashed at about the.
And that was number 35, Dontavius Davis, who was able to just split through the offensive lineman and meet the ball carrier at the point of the handoff, and he just slammed him down.
Madisonville's line looks at each other like, what just happened there?
And I'm not sure if there was some kind of stunt there or if he just purely beat somebody through the middle.
Well, they come back up to line of scrimmage tight with one man in the backfield. We got a motion up here on the Mustangs.
It's going to be a false start on the right tackle, number 51 for the Mustangs. And that's something that defense is the speed of the Black Cat defense will do to you. You've already seen number 35 get off the line fast enough and get into the backfield and get your ball carrier. Now you see Big Dawson Scott looming over number 51, and as he got ready to take off, 51 came up out of that stance knowing he had to get back and get set.
Madisonville substitutes some players, and we have trips to the bottom, one man to the top with three in the backfield at quarterback with number 5. We got a snap back to the quarterback, drop back, little bubble screen, and he dropped it.
And we've seen that quite a bit tonight of receivers dropping those quick little passes out to the flat. It looked like Madisonville might have had something set up there.
Well, once again, we come up with trips down to the bottom and one to the top. Yes, drop passes. The one thing I can say about both teams is they're not stopping each other. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot with penalties or drop passes so far. So Madisonville snaps back, and the running back is hit in the backfield.
That's Big Connor. Looks like Big Connor McNeil came through the line, and he put his face mask right in the chest of number 5 and drove him backwards.
That running back's lucky he didn't fumble on that play, because he was hit right as the ball was handed to him. And on that drive, Mexia pushed him back about 12 yards, so we got a 4th and 22 here. And
we'll have Trey Holman back to receive the punt.
That's what Mexia needed to do right off the start here, Wallace.
That was a great defensive stance by the Black Cats on that. They didn't let Madisonville get anything go on that
so
drive.
So it's a snaps back.
And it's a block punt.
Black Cats pick it up, and they're going to run it in for a touchdown.
And that's going to be number 30, it looks like, for the Black Cats, who scoops it up.
Well, the punter the snap was good, but it looked like the punter just took his time on that punt. And that was number 20 that come up with that.
It looks
recovery.
like 30, Jeremy. It was number 30 came off the edge. And
we have a 20 that's Jacob Allen.
That wasn't Jacob.
If that was a 30, we don't have him in the guide.
Oh, okay. It looked like number 30, whomever that was, he came off the edge. I'm not sure who was able to get their hand on the punt. It looked like one of the big linemen was able to just kind of push through the line and get back there. And when he reached up, he got his big mid on it.
As we got a little confusion right here, we still got plenty of time. We got a couple of Blackcats late run on for the extra point. Snap is back, hold is down, and the kick is up. And we got a good extra point for Martinez as the Blackcats jump up 29-17 with 9 minutes and 48 seconds left. That's just a replay of the first quarter there. Mexia comes out excited and just takes control.
You know, and just like what happened in the first quarter, that front four of the Blackcat defense really just dominated that whole possession, and they were making play after play in the Mustang backfield, and even looked like that front group were the ones that were able to get back and force that block kick and pick it up and then get in for the score.
Well, Mexia did exactly what they wanted to do on their first defensive series. As they'll come back out, they got Mexia somehow snuck a man into the backfield and blocked a punt and picked it up and run it in for about a 10-yard touchdown.
You know, Jeremy, and I'm being told now that number 30 is Big Jawan Wright, who's a sophomore out there playing for the Blackcats. And he was the one that was able to pick up that block punt and run it into the end zone.
Well, the Blackcats sure needed that play, and that puts them back up 12 with 9 minutes and 48 seconds left in the third quarter. As the Blackcats are ready to kick off, once again, it's going to be that high, short bell ringer kick, as you call it.
Oh, and it's bobbled by the return man, but he corrals it. And
he breaks loose up the middle, and he comes out to the right side, and it's just going to be a foot race to see if he can make it down the sideline. It looks like he's going to get caught about the 18-yard line. A host of Blackcats bring him down.
It looks like, you know, that big kick, and it looked like the Cats were going to be able to corral him, and he found a little opening and kind of weaved his way through and got out to the right edge where there was no Blackcats, and it was a foot race, but number 31, Frankie Smith, was able to run him down and bring him down about the 18.
It looks like that kicker is kicking it about 10 yards too deep for his coverage, for the type of coverage that they're running.
Well, and you know, just kind of looking at the way they're running down the field, it looks like he's trying to kick it to a spot, but I think that ball's getting up in the air and the wind.
Snap back, we got the Wildcat back in, and they're going to gain a good 3 yards on the first, 2 yards on the first play as number 7 comes back in for the Mustangs, and once he's in, we know what's running.
Yeah, they're going to snap it directly to him, and he's going to take off. And, you know, just watching so far, it looks like he favors running to that to the offensive right, the defensive left side of the field when he gets the ball in his hands.
What I think they're doing is they're letting Arick go one side or the other, and they're just running to the opposite side.
Yep.
So once again, 7's in there at quarterback. They have their tight formation with 24 in the backfield with him. We have a late substitution for the Blackcats, and they're going to run right at the movement, and they're going to gain about 2 yards. So Mexia's made some adjustments on the Wildcat.
And you know, that time, you were just talking to how it seemed like they were running away from big AK Medlock. That time he waited to see the backfield line up, and then he went to the side where the quarterback would pull it and run. And he was a key contributor in the stuff in that run up.
Well, now they substitute a different quarterback in as 3's back in, and they're going to run their normal offense. We got 3rd down and 8 to go here as Madisonville has the ball on the Mexia 15 trying to punch it in. 24's in the backfield. We got twins to the bottom and 1 to the top, and we have an up back. So he goes in motion and snap back to number 3. It's a fake to 24.
And
he's just going to
throw
roll
it back. And nobody
is around him, and that's a touchdown for the Madisonville Mustangs, as nobody was out there around number 24. That's the running back that had slipped out to the left side.
Running back slipped out of the backfield, and nobody accounted for him. And all Madisonville did was run all of their receivers and everyone to the right side of the field and let 24 slip out to the left. And the quarterback rolled out and then just worked back to the left and dumped it over the top. I saw 34 over there, but he looked like he was playing the quarterback, and nobody. I don't know if we had a busted coverage or just no one picked up the running back.
As the kick is up, and I think he might have kicked that football into the woods. As the score now is back to 29-24. It's a 5-point score as we started the second half.
You know, and the Cats were able to come out and get a quick score on the turnover on the first possession for the Mustangs, and they came back and answered. So now we're going to get to see the Cats get the ball again and see if the Mexia Blackcats can answer the Mustangs.
Well, the one thing Mexia has had this year has been exciting football games.
Right. You know, we talked about at the beginning how well both defenses were and how Madisonville played some low-scoring games. And right now it looks like we're having a little bit of a shootout between the two as they've been scoring and answering back and forth throughout the game and here to start the second half. The ball's being placed on the 40-yard line. The Blackcat return team is taking the field. The Mustang kick team is starting to spread out, and we'll await the kick from Madisonville going to Mexia.
We're going to be kicking from left to right here as the Mustangs will be kicking off to Miller, and Jones will be returning. And it's a deep kickoff, and it's going to be out of bounds. And, you know, that's not such a bad idea sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and again, that ball took a sharp turn straight towards the home side of the field and hit and went out of bounds. And
Mejia's going to make them kick, back them up 5 yards and make them kick. And as football, we watched as much football, that's the worst thing you want as a coach, because now your players have done run all the way down the field.
They have to run all the way back and then get ready to run again.
When your receiving team hasn't hardly moved any. So now your receiving team's a lot fresher than the kickoff team, and this is when you see a lot of big plays.
Right, and especially the way we've seen the wind kind of affect that ball and check it up. This is time where you may get under one, someone get out of the lane, and you see a seam and that a return man's able to hit.
Well, I know in our previous games, we were in shorts up here and hot.
Yeah.
And tonight, it's just pleasant.
You know, I brought a sweat towel with me today because I sweat out of, I think, every T-shirt I've worn up here this season. And then I got up here today, and it seems like every time I get a little bead of sweat on my forehead, the wind picks up and just blows it right off.
Well, we have some precipitation on Blackcat Field if that's happening.
Right.
Well, now Madisonville is going to line up to kick off again from their own 35 this time, as they had a legal procedure kicking out of bounds. 57 approaches the kick, and he's going to kick it left to right, and we're going to have a returnable ball as Jones is going to return this. He takes off up the middle. He jukes and he fumbles, and the ball's on the ground, and it looks like Madisonville's come up with the ball. And that's the worst thing that you could have happened, as the Blackcats now have turned the ball over. But
there is a flag on the play. Came in from behind like it may be a holding against the Blackcats.
As the Blackcats have not had a good 2 minutes here in the last 2 to 3 minutes on the clock, as the defense is going to come back out, but Madisonville is going to have the ball in really good field possession after the fumble on the kickoff return for the Blackcats. The hold is going to be declined due to the fact that Madisonville recovered the fumble.
They'll be on the Blackcat 31-yard line. Down 5 with 7:56 left in the third quarter. The Blackcat defense will take the field again against the Madisonville offense.
As Mart and Furio's having a barn burner down at Furio, it's 34-26 in the third quarter now. Snap back to 3. It's just that little bubble screen, and he's going to get about 8 yards on that. It looked like they were going to stop him on about a 2 or 3 yard gain, but he was able to break the tackle and scoot down for a few more yards, as that was a good pickup on first down for the Mustangs. Brings up a second and looks like about 3. As the Ponies come to the line, they have trips down here to the bottom. They got a man tied up top. Man in the backfield is going to just be a handoff to number 5, and he looks like he's going to pick up enough for the first down, and it's going to make it a 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line of the Mexia Blackcats. They'll keep the chains moving. Mustang's going to come out and come back into the tight formation with an up back as they look over to get the play from the coaches. So Mejia's looking for a big stand here. If they could hold them to a field goal, that'd be a win for Mejia.
Right. Giving them a short field.
First down and 10 Mustangs. Snap back to the quarterback. It's going to be a hand. No, quarterback's going to keep it up the middle. And he's going to pick up a good 6 yards on the play. And they blow the whistle after a pickup of 6 or 7 here. Bring up 2nd down and 3.
See a change in personnel for the Mustangs. They're going to put number 7 back in the backfield, so you can expect a direct snap and a run from number 7.
The old mighty Wildcats coming up. As the Mustangs come to the line, we have 7 and 5 in the backfield. Of course, 7's the quarterback. He takes the snap and he's just going to run around right.
Oh, and he's met in the backfield and driven down.
Out, and that's going to be a gain of maybe 1.
And that was 35 and 34, Dontavius Davis, and I think that was Mr. Sandoval coming in to clean up the play in number 34.
That would be Isaac Sandoval. And now as the Mustangs look to the sideline, they leave their Wildcat quarterback in, and it's 3rd and 4 now. So the Mustangs come to the line. Of course, with their kicker, I would think they'd go for a field goal, but this could be 4-down territory as they roll in. And it's just a little motion, and 7's going to bust through, and he got a seam down to about the 5.
Looks like they're going to mark it about the 6-yard line for the Mustangs. That'll be enough for a first down, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 6. We got 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and the Mexia Blackcat offense has not touched the field yet. Right, and
we still stay here with the Wildcat with the Mustangs, and then once again, he's going to hand off the 5, and he's just going to scoot into the end zone.
Looks like he's drugged down about the 2-yard line.
They're going to tackle him about the 2.
And we saw the first possession where Mejia was able to block the punt and get the touchdown. Then Madisonville came back and answered.
As Madisonville runs to the line, and they're going to stop him, or what are they going to? They're going to call it a touchdown for the Ponies. As Madisonville is going to take the lead 30-29 as of right now. That was the one thing Mejia didn't need, was the turnover.
Right, and we talked about how they got Madisonville was going to get the first possession out of half, and Mejia was able to make a play and score off of that first possession, and then it was given right back with the turnover in the short field. So Mejia's going to have to answer back to Madisonville right now, who seems to be holding all the momentum.
Looks like Madisonville's going to go for 2 here to try to go for a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and when you look at that play sheet and you're up 1, it usually says go for 2 because
we got trips down 3 here to the right. We got 1 to the top. We got motion coming.
We'll get a timeout from Madisonville.
As they look a little confused out there. We got 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We're going to go to a timeout, and we'll be back at Blackcat Field, homecoming 2019.
To Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer & Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
As we come back to Blackcat Field, the Mustangs take their first lead of the night, 30-29. They're lining up to go for 2 here, and they got a man in motion. Comes in and goes back out, and he's snapping. The quarterback rolls to his right, and he's just going to – no, he's going to be sacked for a sack.
And that's Dawson Scott, who's able to fight off the blockers and get out to the quarterback and pull him down.
So now the score is going to stay at 30-29 Blackcats.
Blackcats will get the ball here down one.
The one thing that I have wrong with that is if you kick an extra point and you got an awesome kicker, you go up by two.
Right.
So that's going to force Mexia to score a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion for you to score a touchdown and tie the game. I mean,
yeah, you're trying to off balance the score. When you look at your play sheets, it tells you you're up 1, go for 2 because that'll put you up 3, and then a field goal only ties you. So you're in one of those decision-making moments. You go for 1 and just keep rolling and stay on schedule, or you go for 2 and put yourself up by 3. They decided to go for 2 there, and it wasn't successful. So they'll have to kick away to the Blackcats now, up 1.
So the Madisonville Mustangs line up to kick from left to right here, as we have Holdman and Miller back now to return the kick. As the kick is kicked up, it's going to be returned by, looks like Holdman. No, Sunday snags it. He's going to go up the right sideline.
Oh,
and he's going to get a good return to about the 30-yard line.
You know, and that was a ball that was kicked right on the sideline, and it looked like he had a chance to let it go out of bounds, but he decided to field it. And instead of fair catching like we see a lot of times in that situation, he stayed in there and he took it right up the sideline and gained about 12 yards on that return. So the Cats will take over at about the Mexia 29-yard line.
Well, the Blackcats look like they're going to come out with a man to the top and twins down here to the bottom with Wiley in the backfield with Proctor and Harrison as an up back. Snap. No. We have a snap back, and it's going to be a handoff to Wiley. He's going to bust up the middle and keep his ground for about 4 yards. That's a good run after getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah, you seen the defender get back there and get their arms on him in the backfield, and he just pulled through that arm tackle and surged ahead for like another 3 or 4 yard gain. As we come out, we see Prince Bank out to the left with Evan Harrison. We have two backs in the backfield.
It's going to be handoff to Holdman,
and
he's going to break
through
up the middle for about 4 yard gain, maybe 5. It looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 2. 3rd down and 2, maybe a long 2.5.
Yeah.
But the Blackcats really need a 1st down here.
Yeah, you want to stay on schedule. If we can get this 1st down, move the chains, get a fresh set of downs, keep that Madisonville defense on the field, and keep your defense on the sideline catching their breath for a little bit and sustain your drive and try to put points on the board here. No, you want to answer back. Madisonville had a quick score. You want to answer back and put points on the board of your own.
So we got twins down to the bottom, one up to the top, Wiley in the backfield, and movement for the Blackcats. That's the last thing that you need when you got a 3rd down and 2 and you've been struggling a little bit
Yeah, and when you're in that situation.
They're going to call encroachment on Madisonville for this.
And you know what? It seems like those linemen over on those defensive linemen were jumping at the offensive line trying to mimic the snap count, and it looks like that's what they're calling the
Mexia got away
for.
with one because he completely was going to pull there.
Yeah, and as a lineman, you have to be more disciplined and be able to hold that stance. But that's one thing that the referees look close at.
1st down for Mexia on the 43-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Wiley up the middle, and he's going to get a tough 3 yards. There's not much there, but he's going to make as much as he can. There's no doubt about it with Wiley.
He puts those shoulders down, and it seems like he finds the smallest crack to slide through to pick up 2 or 3 yards.
is really upset after that last call. The thing they have to do here is let that last play go and play from here on out.
You know, and I'm sure if they're doing it, you're hopping back and forth at the linemen. The referees will call it eventually.
Well, we got twins to the top, and we're going to drop back, and Proctor's just going to look down the middle, and he's running to the right. He looks like he's going to run out of bounds for about a 4 yard gain, and we have a late hit, but it doesn't look like they're going to throw a flag there.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of got his heels caught up by a player that was falling out of bounds. But, you know, that's a decent pickup on 2nd down to make it a 3rd and short. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 2. Ball's right at midfield. You want to pick up this first down and keep moving right here. You know, you ran a few plays and you're moving the ball. You want to keep it moving, get a fresh set of downs, and try to keep going. You want to see if Mexia can hold it. Last time we thought we were going to see a penalty against the Cats, so you want those big guys up front to make sure they hold their water.
We got twins down to the bottom. We got Miller's in motion, and it's going to be a fake to Miller, and Proctor's got wide open field down here to the bottom, and he's going to have enough for a first down.
Yeah, that's about a 5-yard pickup right there, and they used Miller coming across, and all the eyes went there, and Proctor was able to get a little gap and get enough for the first. And like we say, they moved the chains on that play, and it keeps the offensive drive alive.
As the Blackcats have twins down here to the bottom, they have Prince on the outside. We have Miller on the inside. Clark's up top. We got Miller in motion, snap back, and this time they are going to hand off to Miller. And he's got a hole, and he's going to explode through it, and he's going to get a gain of about 7. That's the best play we've had so far on this drive. And you could just see as soon as that hole was there.
He accelerated through that hole and put his shoulders down. And whoever put their hands on him, they went on for a ride for about 3 yards before he got to the ground.
We have a couple of substitutions. It looks like
Holdman's
back in, and
Harrison.
We have Trips down here to the left, and of course we still have Clark up top. We have motion out here to the left, and it's going to be behind a lateral to Wiley on the outside, and he's going to come around the corner, and you are not going to get him. He's going to tightrope the sideline and go in for a touchdown for the Mexia Blackcats.
And we have a penalty flag on the field.
It's on, and they're waving it's on Madisonville, so that's going to be a Blackcat touchdown.
You know, and they just ran a little bubble route with the running back, threw the ball out to Wiley, already on the move, and he got some great blocks from his receivers downfield.
As these Madisonville coaches are beside themselves. They are not understanding what's going on with the calls on the field. As Mexia breaks out into this swinging gate, and Madisonville looks completely confused on what's going on. As Mexia's come up with a new version here.
Yeah, they all said some to the left, some to the right, and they line up.
And we're going to have a penalty, and Proctor did go in, but they're going to have an illegal motion penalty on that. So now after the penalty, let's see what Mexia is going to do. Is they were going for 2 to make it a 7-point game.
There's an illegal shift called on the Blackcats.
Well, Mexia's coaches are not happy now, so it's equal. Neither side is happy with the stripes.
All night we've seen both coaching staffs out on the field talking to the referees. So Mexia lined back up in the same formation again.
I'm not for sure what happened there because they're in the exact same formation.
Right. And you have one man going in motion. I'm not sure what the –
And he catches it. Holman catches it for a 2-point conversion, and that's going to put Mexia up by 7. Wallace, that's what I just talked about earlier.
Right. You know, and that time they just used the alignment and spread out the defense, and it allows those weapons you have on offense and those athletes to get out and find open spaces, and that's all that was Holman ran a great route, and he just found an opening in that little defense, and Proctor put it right on him.
So because Madisonville went for 2 while ago and failed, now Mexia has scored, and they're up by 7. Where if they would have scored, if they'd have went for the extra point, it'd be 31-37, and it'd be a 6-point game instead of a 7-point game.
Yeah, and I think they're just playing in the moment at the time, and that was a great play design. You know, and you see the penalty call. It makes you kind of wonder what the penalty on the first attempt was, because you see Mexia line up in the exact same formation and run the same motion across, and that time the penalty flag didn't come out. So,
well, the thing is a lot of refs, when they drop that flag, they're not going to change their mind unless another official comes up and says completely that, hey, look, I was looking at that. There was no way that happened, maybe from your angle, but from my angle, that wasn't what happened.
Right, and, you know, you see the call from the Blackcat coaches to just hop right back in it and run it again with a little different variation, and they were still able to convert on the.
And because of the personal foul, Mexia will be kicking off from the 45 of Madisonville to me, this is a perfect time to run an onside kick.
Right. You know, if you run an onside kick here, you're trying to recover about the 35, which you've been giving up your starting field position around the 35 all night anyways.
And, of course, that's what Mexia does, is they're going
Right.
to line up for a little pooch kick, it looks like. Not necessarily a straight onside kick, but they're going to be kicking into the wind from right to left.
There's a lot of room over on that right sideline if he's able to swing that. If he and it hops perfect.
And it's number 72 recovers it, but man, that Mexia was just about a yard away from really jumping on that ball. It looked like Miller was the one that was the closest to it.
Yeah, and you know, and Madisonville will start on the 29-yard line, like you say. In that situation, that's not a bad idea. Even though Madisonville recovered it, they're still, you know, inside the 30 on their side of the field. And they had a chance. That ball took a really good hop, you know, coming off the kicker's toe. And then we have some more discussion between the Mustang coaching staff and the line judge. And now we'll set the ball, and both the offense from Madisonville and the defense from Mexia will take the field.
So we must have had a penalty because for some reason they just gained 5 more yards.
I'm guessing it was maybe an offsides against the Blackcats on the kick.
I've never seen a yellow flag.
I didn't see the flag come out either, but for some reason we marched off 5 yards.
Well, now we have twins to the top and twins to the bottom with number 3 in the backfield all by himself, and we got motion by number 8, and it's going to be a handoff to 8
number 8 around
the corner, and it looks like there's a little hold there, but he's going to break him.
Oh,
there
goes the flag. Yeah, it was a clear hold on the right end. The end came up to hold contain, and the tackle just grabbed him and wrestled him down to the ground.
Back judge just threw his flag about 30 yards. I mean, I think he's in the wrong sport. He needs to be in the javelin throw.
Yeah, you know, we were about to say we don't know how the flag didn't come out, and about that time you see a yellow piece of laundry come flying from, like you say, about 30 yards downfield, and, you know, he almost put that thing right about where the play happened.
Yes. Well, too bad baseball's almost over, or we'd have a team out here looking at him.
And that's going to move the Mustangs back to about the 24-yard line.
As Mejia's has the lead 37-14 on homecoming 2019 with 1:14 left in the third. Madisonville's looking over to get the play. As of right now, they got twins to the top and 1 to the bottom. Got an up back with 1 running back here with number 3, their quarterback. He motions him out to left. Of course, he's just going to bubble screen. That's pretty much what they've done. They grab him.
Number 35 for the Cats makes a great play, gets off his block, and he, you know, 35
is Davis again?
That's Davis again, and he's played great these first few games. Kind of one that not a lot of people had heard about at the beginning of the season, and he's played consistent each game.
He's doing so well, he didn't even make the program either.
Right, you know, and one thing that we've noticed, some of those kids that may have started out sub-varsity of the season worked their way up to playing on Friday nights, and, you know, they're making an impact out there.
Comes up with 2 men down to the bottom, and they're just going to hand off to 24. And, of course, again 35 is tackling the ball, and how he did not pull that ball out, I don't know.
And we have a flag.
A late flag coming in, and
I'm not sure. The play seemed to be over then. And
somebody got hit, and they're going to call it on Lamarian Miller, as that's who the running back, the umpire's pointing at. And it's going to be a personal foul because that happened after the play. Dead ball, personal foul, Mexia. That's the type of penalties that's hurt them all year long.
I didn't see what happened after the play, but obviously that back judge did, and he threw the flag in there. And I think right now Coach Sandoval from Mexia is asking what exactly happened, what the call was, and I don't think he's gotten an answer yet as he walks around. You know, these 2 line judges are getting an earful all night from both sides of the coaches.
That's the worst official to be when you're an official on the field is a line judge. If you can be a referee or a back judge, that's what you want to be when you officiate a football game, because you don't have to listen to a coach. When you get the draw of being a line judge, you better put some earplugs in and just not pay attention.
Yeah, you know, and or like they did, get a piece of cotton and stuff it in your ears, because right now I'm betting those 2 line judges wish they had something to plug their ears, because they've been getting chewed on and hollered at all night. And that brings up the end of the third quarter. The Blackcats are on top 37-30. We're going to start the fourth quarter with
I'll tell you what.
With the Madisonville with a 1st and 10.
Let's go over some scores while we have this little quick break. We got La Vega winning 51-14 over Midlothian. We have Hubbard winning 28-20 over Cayuga. Wortham is up 24-12 over Crossroads. Mart's leading 28-26, and I actually think Mart has scored, and it's 34-26 now. Valley Mills is 62-0. Strong has taken the lead over Milford 28-26 as we're back at Blackcat Field. Fairfield's leading Lorena 34-14. Back at Blackcat Field to start the fourth quarter. This is going to be a handoff, and he breaks out to the right. Now there's a whole host of Blackcats right there to bring him down.
That'll be Dravion Cooper drives him back.
That's going to be a gain of a short yard on that. Maybe not even quite a whole yard. Well, with 11 minutes and 45 seconds left, Mejia's got the lead 37-30 on Homecoming 2019 as we're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of the Blackcats winning state tonight as well. Madisonville comes back to the line with twins up top, one man in the backfield. We got an up back and snap back to quarterback. He rolls out to the right. Scott is all over him, and he just throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, and Big Dawson Scott, he came flying off the edge, and he was right there in the quarterback's face, and the quarterback just made the decision to throw it away.
Well, now Madisonville comes back to the line. It's 3rd and 10. And Mejia's going to try to hold one here. If they can get a hold here and score, it puts them in really good position to pull a win out here tonight.
Yeah, it's, 3rd and 10, you got to expect 3 to try maybe a play fake and him trying to roll out to find one of his receivers. Needs to get some pressure and secondary hold. He drops back.
And he's going to be sacked in the backfield by the Blackcats, and that's going to be about a 4-yard loss.
And that's Dawson Scott. He was able to get around the edge that time.
And Connor McNeil's in there with him.
And Dravion Cooper brought up the tail end of that to pull the quarterback down. And looks like Madisonville's going to bring the punt unit out. My head drops Trey Holman back to receive the punt. And, we've seen some kind of screwy-looking kicks tonight when that ball gets up in the wind. So we want to watch. And the wind's blowing pretty good right now.
And it goes off the side of his foot, and it's just going to go out. No, it come back this way.
It just kind of bounced straight up in the air and died.
And so Mejia's going to take over at their own 34 for their first drive here in the fourth quarter, with Mejia leading 37-30. An update here: Furio has taken the lead over Mart, 42-40 in the third quarter.
Sounds like a barn burner down there.
They gonna go neck and neck the rest of the way. It looks like
those are perennial powerhouses in their classification.
They played in the state championship 2 years ago, and Furio come out and jumped on Mart, and Mart come back and ended up really blowing them out. As Mejia comes to the line, we got 2 men to the bottom, 1 to the top. We got Holman in motion, and it's just a misdirection, and we got up the middle.
Off to Jarrell Wiley, and
Wiley, he gets about 11
drives his
yards.
feet. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and he's grabbing.
Is he cramping? Looks like he might be cramping more than it is anything else.
And we're going to hope that there's just cramps.
Jones.
He gets up and he walks himself off the field under his own power.
Jones comes in for him as Mejia comes back to the line.
Yeah, but
we got a 1st and 10 on the Blackcat 45-yard line.
He just drove straight through that defender who tried to square him up. He put his shoulder into the defender's chest and just ran through him and carried him for that first down. Blackcats look to the sideline for the call. Proctor gives out the signals, and the Cats take the line.
So we got twins down here to the right. We got an up back, 1 to the top, snap back to Proctor, and he's just going to hand off to Trey, and he's going to go up the middle, and he breaks another tackle, breaks another one,
he spins,
and he's going to get about 10 yards on that carry. What a tough run by Jones there.
Jones, like we said, these are 2 hard-running running backs. Jones put his head down and his shoulders. He took the first contact, and he put his shoulders down even lower and then put his hand down to keep his balance, popped back up, got hit again, spun off of it, and drug on to get the first down. So that's good positive yardage from Jones as he comes in to spell Wiley.
Once again, you're seeing Mejia's offensive line to start to take over the front defensive line for the Mustangs on this drive. As we got twins to the bottom, one to the top, Proctor in the back with Jones, and it's just going to be a handoff. Jones up the middle, another hole, and he jumps out to the right. He's going to gain about 7 on that, maybe 8. Another good run.
Yeah, you know, and right now, like you said, the line's opening up holes, and those running backs are hitting it, and they're putting their shoulders down, and they're getting positive yards. You know, and that's what you need right now in the fourth quarter. You're up a score. You want to keep moving the ball forward and try to get more points on the board and try to run some clock. And right now the Blackcats are doing that. We want to see them keep doing it and moving the ball and staying ahead of those chains.
Mejia comes out with trips to the bottom, one to the top, and it's Jones in the backfield still with Proctor, and Harrison goes in motion. It's just going to be a fake handoff, and Proctor's going to break up the middle, and he's going to be right about a yard short of a first down.
It looks like they marked him at about the 36-yard line.
Of course, you know this has got to be 2-down territory for the Blackcats.
Yeah, right now, I think you're a little bit too far for field goal range. You're a little too close to try to punt the ball away. So you got to go try to move the sticks on this one. And we see Wiley come back in to join Proctor in the backfield. We're going to have Christian Clark at the bottom, Trey Holman on the inside, and we have a receiver up top.
Proctor underneath the center for the second time tonight, and he's going to hand it off to Wiley as he just crushes up the middle, and he's got enough for the first down, as that was just some tough running.
You know, I'm not sure that the refereeing crew has seen Wiley run, because he doesn't ever seem to be down, and he keeps moving, but they blow the whistle to kill the play, and you see him still pushing the pile each and every time. But we do move the sticks, and it'll be Mejia's ball on about the 33-yard line with 1st and 10.
Mejia comes out with one up back, one down here to the bottom, 2 to the top. Proctor with Wiley beside him. We got one in motion. They're going to fake off the 6, and Wiley's going to bust up the middle to the left side. Once again, one man keeps him from going the distance there.
You know, he picks up about 5 yards on that run.
As Mejia is just what they're doing is they're saying right now, we're going to line up and run it down your throat.
Right, and you're going to have to stop us, because what they're doing now is they're running the ball, they're keeping the clock moving, and they're moving down to get themselves in position to put more points on the board.
Once again, earlier in the game, just a few passes make a difference right here, because Madisonville can't sneak up and say, hey, they're going to run it on us, because they know there's a chance that Mejia could drop back and throw it over the top on them.
You know, and now you have to take into account and the snap's going to come.
Snap is going to be a fake to 6, and Proctor's going to run out here to the right, and he's going to try to make it around the end. He's going to be pushed out, maybe a yard lost there.
You know, and I think that was just kind of some miscommunication between Proctor and the receiver that was coming in motion, as it looked like Proctor was trying to hand the ball off, and the receiver ran past and didn't take it.
It's going to be a loss of about 2, so that's going to bring up 3rd down for the Blackcats, and about 6 here on this play. The officials are coming over here trying to tell the clock operator to put it back at a certain time.
And they've reset the clock to 6 minutes and 28 seconds.
Proctor's just going to drop back and throw a little
pass
out to Holman,
and he has the sideline, and
he's going to fake, and he's going to get down to about the 7-yard line.
You know, and that's what you were just talking about, Jeremy. You know, we've seen him throw the ball, and so Madisonville has to respect that. They have to respect the run game, and they have to respect Proctor's his ability to put the ball in his hands and use his feet. And that time they gave too much of a cushion, and Trey Holman was able to get to the sideline, catch the ball, and advance it enough to get the first down.
As Mejia's driving here, they're on their 9-yard line, 1st and goal. With this, if they were to punch it in here, you could say they're salting the game away here. So again, they're going to hand it off to Wiley, come around left side. He's going to break out he is so fast he breaks in.
We're going to have a holding call.
There was no doubt that he held there. So that's going to push Mexia back 10 yards, and it'll be a 1st and goal at about the 19 or 20-yard line.
Yeah, and you really hate that because Wiley had already gotten around the corner, and I don't think that defender was going to be able to get to him to stop him. But that's your big lineman trying to get out there and get a hold to some of those linebackers and safeties flying across the field, and they just got caught holding that time.
You know, Wallace, I'm a big believer in as an offensive coordinator. I think I'd line up and run the same play again to the left side, and if it worked that first time, it'll work the second time.
I mean, right now the front for Mexia is being really dominant, and they're moving the ball. They're pushing that Madisonville defense back, and those running backs are finding holes.
So we're going to hand off to Wiley up the left
that's
side.
That's what they do, Jeremy. They just run the same play again.
And another flag comes in.
You have another flag. It's going to be holding.
I think that back judge just likes to see his arm shown off.
Yeah, because right there, the lineman was engaged with the defender, and he was just driving him backwards. The defender tried to turn and run while he was being blocked. It didn't look like a holding.
So we had a 1st and 9 to start out with, and now we have worked it to a 1st and 27-yard line. This is where it gets to the point to where you don't want officials to make the difference in the ball game.
Yeah.
They have thrown way too many penalties tonight, and you want the boys to decide the game. You don't want the officials to decide the game.
Yeah, and right now we've seen penalties on the last 3 plays. We want to see.
We got Lamar and Miller to the top, Harrison in the slot, Jones is in the backfield. Here comes Miller in motion, and we have a fumble on the play, and it looks like Madisonville saying they got the ball, and the referees agree with them. Mexia has fumbled, and the Madisonville Mustangs have come up with the ball. I don't know what happened there. The snap never came back.
Yeah, the ball never got back to the quarterback. I don't know if it caught someone coming in motion or if it never got off the turf or what, but that ball just kind of disappeared once it was snapped, and you saw Proctor trying to get up to the line to get it. But nonetheless, it's going to be a turnover, and the Madisonville offense is going to take over the ball with 5:22 left in the 4th quarter, and Mexia's up 37-30.
As Mexia comes to the line, they're on defense now. See if they can't get one more big stand. 7's out there. Of course, you know what's coming, the Wildcat. Right. And, of course, he breaks through.
And then he finally drug down. Looks like he gained about 10 yards on that run.
As he looked like he was bottled up in the backfield, and that's just pure heart to keep going forward.
Right now you have a kid that's coming in, and Madisonville's just saying, hey, we're going to put him in there. We're going to let him out-athlete you because you know what's coming. And that's all. Oh, and that time he's met by a host of Blackcats, and he's brought down in the backfield. That's actually going to be a loss, as it'll bring up 3rd down and about 4.
As the Blackcats come back to the line, it's 3rd down and about 5, maybe 6, and it's going to be motion. Of course, it's going to be a Wildcat once again with 7, and he's going to have enough for the 1st down as the Blackcats are going to stop him about the 44-yard line.
You know, and right now, just looking at that, it looks like we have some guys trying to pull at the ball, and you really just need to tackle the ball carrier right now and get him down.
You're looking for a stop right here with a 7-point lead.
You're up. You don't necessarily want the strip. If you get it, you get it, but you want to make sure that ball carrier is stopped and brought down.
As we're still in the Wildcat for the Mustangs with a tight, and it's just a handoff, and it's up the right side as number 24 gains about 5 yards, maybe 6 on that carry.
You know, it looks like Madisonville's going to running the ball. Now they bring number 3 back in at quarterback, and 7 comes to the sideline. 3 and 5. So when this duo is in the backfield, you look more for that play action and those boots, and 3 moving around trying to throw the ball downfield.
As Mexia comes to the defensive side of the ball, they look like they might be rushing here. we have a tight situation. It's going to be a handoff to 5. It's a huge hold.
And there's a holding. There was a holding by number 12 on that inside.
I guess the back
defensive
judge hurt his arm on the last throw down here on the other end of the field because
that seemed like the same play. He threw that flag the last couple plays of the Mejia drive.
3 minutes winding down here. Mejia leading 37-30, a homecoming game of 2019. As Madisonville stays in the tight with Twins up top, and they're just trying to run out the clock and
trying to work it down the field.
Oh, we do have a holding finally.
There's a flag right in the middle of the offensive line, which you're just about is going to be a holding.
So now it's going to be Mejia. It should be first down and 20 again.
First and 20. But more importantly, it moves the Mustangs back to about the Mejia 48-yard line, which takes them out of. Well, right now Mejia's up 7, so you'd think that a field goal is not a factor at this point. They're going to have to get in the end zone.
Snap back, and it's going to be a straight drop back as he's going to be sacked.
And that's number 12, Jabron Busby, over here on the edge. And right now the Madisonville offense is looking over to get the play. The Mejia defense is looking for their signal calls as they line up. We'll have number 3 and number 5 in the backfield for the Mustangs.
We have trips to the top, one down here to the bottom. We got a snap back, and he's going to throw a little
quick
bubble
pass
screen.
out to 21, and you got.
And there's a holding out there. How they didn't see that holding? I mean, that's right in front of the field judge, our line judge.
When a receiver has the cornerback's shoulder pads up like wings, you think somebody will be able to see it, but.
So we're now at 3rd and about 17. And Madisonville is running out of time here. We got a minute 34 left.
And the Blackcats need 2 stops here to get the ball back.
You see the snap back, straight drop. And
he starts rolling, and he clears the pocket. Number 5 gets it. Oh, and he breaks a tackle.
Oh, and he's
brought down short of the first down. So it'll bring up 4th and about 7. And maybe about 6.
We got a timeout here.
So with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the 4th quarter, Mejia is still on top, 37-30 over the Madisonville Mustangs. It'll be 4th down and about 6 when we come back.
As we want to go to our sponsor break, thank y'all for listening to us. As we come back to Blackcat Field here, we got 1 minute 10 left in the 2019 homecoming game. And Madisonville's driving here.
The Blackcat defense is on the field waiting for the Madisonville offense. The ball will be on the Mejia 34-yard line.
They need to get to the 28 for a first down.
4th and 6.
They have a late player coming on. It's going to be the up back. He goes in motion, snap back, and it's just a straight drop back. And, of course, they're disrupting him, and they're going to tackle him.
Dawson Scott tackles him.
And that's going to be ball game for the Blackcats unless they just have a terrible snap or something here to end the ball game.
You know, barring a big mistake, you know, it looks like the Blackcats will be able to just milk the clock on out with 1 minute and 4 left. Looking down, it looks like Madisonville only has 1 timeout left. So Mejia can probably just take a couple knees and get out of this with a win.
They have to be real careful here with the snap situation we've had tonight, though.
You know, we've seen a couple bad snaps. We've actually seen Proctor under center a few times. I don't think this would be a bad time to put him under there right now and let the center just snap it straight to his hands and let him go down on it.
As we come to the to the line. Mejia's just going to be in a tight formation. It's what they call a victory formation.
Right, and Proctor will be under center.
Snap back, and he takes a knee.
You know, you don't want to do that because you're losing yardage. I know you're trying to run clock down, but you went back and you lost about 7 yards, and you are still on your end of the field.
And we got a timeout here by Madisonville, which is their last timeout.
Yeah, right now during this timeout, your coaches should be telling you, take the snap and go straight down. You know, because you don't.
So you have second down here.
You have 3 more snaps. They don't have any more timeouts. You're only going to have to snap the ball 2 more times. So you don't want to try to run clock and scoot back and all of that. You just want to take the snap, kneel it down, go back to your huddle, wait a little bit, line back up, snap it with about 2 seconds on the clock, and then take your last knee and then go line up at the 50 and get out of here with a victory.
Well, as the Blackcats break their huddle over talking to the coaches head back to the line of scrimmage. Mejia comes out, and they're coming up to the line of scrimmage in the victory formation one more time. As Proctor takes it, and he just takes a knee, and we got 56 seconds. Well, we'll have 40-second time clock. That counting down 39, there's going to be 13 seconds difference in the time clock here. So one more snap is going to do it here from Blackcat Field as you start to see fans file out, happy tonight, cheering. It's good to start district off 1-0.
Yeah, it is. You know, like we say, picking up victories in district is important, especially when you're in a tough district like this. We're going to let Jeremy bring us some scores here in a little bit after the Blackcats take this last knee, and see what happened in other places in our district tonight.
As Proctor takes his last snap of the night, and the Mejia Blackcats are going to win this game 37-30. It was a hard-fought ball game between the Blackcats and the Madisonville Mustangs. I want to tip my hat off to Madisonville because they had a long drive up here, and they come to play.
Yeah, you know, they're a well-coached team. They came out and played hard, and it was kind of toe-to-toe and back-to-back. You know, each team came out and were hitting the other team in the mouth, and the Blackcats were able to come out with a victory tonight. You know, and that's a good way to start your district schedule, and a good momentum and confidence booster for the Blackcats as they come out and beat a tough Madisonville team tonight.
Well, as the teams walk across midfield and meet and shake hands with the coaches and the players, we're going to bring you some scores here. Score I have right now is marched down 40-48 to number 1 Furio. That's the number 3 Division II teams playing a number 1 Division I team in 2A. That's got to be a heck of a ball game for any fans that made that trip down there. Tig is down 41-47 in the fourth quarter to Hempstead. China Spring is the score's gone final now. They got beat by a non-UIL opponent 58-56. La Vega has won 58-14. Hubbard has won 28-20. Wortham, look at Wortham this year, 36-20 winners over Crossroads.
That brings them to what, like 4-1 on the season?
Yes. The Strong Greyhounds have beat the Milford Bulldogs 50-34. Maypearl has beaten Groesbeck 47-0. Fairfield gave a loss to Lorena tonight, 41-21. Crockett won 45-0. Franklin won 42-0. As Mejia here won 37-30. Grandview is defeated West 42-14. And Conley has defeated Salado 28-21 in our district tonight. As we have 7 teams in our district, so each week we're going to have 6 teams playing. We're going to have 1 bye week. And next week happens to be Mejia's bye week. So after they come back from their bye week, they're going to be a game behind some teams, but they're going to have a 1-0 record, and that's what makes the difference.
Right. You know, and we'll hope that the guys are able to go into this bye week, work on some things. Some that have a couple bumps and bruises are able to heal up, get that extra week of rest, and be ready to come out that next week healthy.
Well, from Blackcat Field, homecoming 2019, it's been fun, Wallace, but it's been brought to you by Greer Media Time. We'll go over our sponsors one more time. And the game was called by Wallace High and Jeremy Sunday with cameraman Freddie Greer. Our sponsors are Napa Auto Parts, Mookie's Barbecue, Greer Time Media, Joe Fridays, Woodman Life,
And we want to say,
and Greer Mobile.
We want to say a great job by the Blackcats tonight on coming out and getting the victory on homecoming 2019. We want to say a very good job by the Blackcat Nation coming out and cheering on the football team tonight. As we know, many people traveled in for homecoming. We hope everyone's safe as they depart from the stadium and go about their weekend endeavors. And last but not least, again, we want to say a great job by the Fighting Blackcats tonight.
2019 homecoming is in the books.
Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.